Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching. Hey, what's going on? Look at it. I have my hat on, you guys. Oh my god, he didn't have his hat on. Holy shit. He doesn't have his hat on. My god, the world's coming to an end. See that? I do have hair on my head. It's not as thick as it used to be. That's for damn sure, but you know? You guys have all seen it. I'm never watching again. Yeah. Yeah, so maybe we should do the, I think we should just go over that whole probable cause again and just sort of figure out what the hell it's saying. So that way we know it, you know? What do you guys think? Now, and Candace Owens was back at it again, her crazy guy. I mean, she was making just this all these different connections, and it's just Candace. Tyler Robinson killed Charlie Kirk. Okay, you know what I find ironic about Candace Owens is how she says something. She always says she's, you know, there's people betraying Charlie Kirk, and what she needs to do is just look in the mirror, and then she found that person. Because Candace Owens has absolutely betrayed Charlie Kirk. Single-handedly has put the company in a really bad light by people for no reason at all. That is my face. I'm not sure what the hell you're talking about. Hey, look, but you can see Clancy's right here. He's hanging out. Look at that. He's like, what the hell's going on? He's looking at himself. What is that? What is that right there? What is that right there? What is that? What is that? See it? See it? Yeah, that's amazing how many people will believe her. I'm still waiting. Yeah. But anyways, you guys, guess what? Tonight's another night. So while we're doing the show, if you want to help support the channel, that would be awesome. Yeah. I had one video that did okay recently. And today's video, which was the audio of this entire probable cause, got like 5,000 or 500 views. I mean, it's crazy, you know? Yeah. But we're currently at 0.0000000 all the way across the board. All right, let's let me I guess we can just get going on this. All right. I mean, we could do it where we play the audio and we look at the words and then go over and then just stop it whenever we, you know, it starts getting confusing. I don't know. What do you guys think? Because that way I can just kind of hit pause and then I don't have to read 18 pages of dense text. Well, Candace is just an idiot. Okay, I think, you know, she is a cult leader. You know, she's trying to pretend that she's got some divine connection to something, and she just doesn't. I'm gonna wait till we at least get started somehow. We're still at 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0 all the way across the board. See, Gray, look how Gray. He wouldn't do a show unless somebody sent in a super chat. Right, Clancy? He's looking right at my face. It's always weird when a dog looks right into your eyes, you know. Hey, look, there's Alley Cake. Hello. Hello, Ryan. Michelle H. Pink Diamond. Sandy Shirley. C. Daly. Chicken Wing. Oh, there's Wild Bill Wassman. Karen Evans. Yeah, whenever you're reading, though, it's such a challenge when you're reading. How about, maybe I'll try to do it that way. Let me see if I can open this up.
Affidavit of probable cause.
Where is it?
Affiant, a duly sworn police officer with the Wexford County Sheriff's Office, attests to the following facts based on personal investigation, or is swearing to the facts as presented by a fellow sworn deputy sheriff to establish probable cause that the crime of homicide.
Oh, that was weird. It just sort of
affidavit.
It just sort of played by itself without, like, you know, the program didn't even open up. And then maybe when it gets to certain points, we can stop and reread it and try to figure out what's happening. What do you guys think?
Of probable cause. Affiant, a duly sworn police officer with the Wexford County Sheriff's Office, attests to the following facts based on personal investigation, or is swearing to the facts as presented by a fellow sworn deputy sheriff to establish probable cause that the crime of homicide, first-degree premeditated, felony murder, torture.
And this is if you're not aware, this is Rebecca Park, the case in Michigan where, you know, out in, you know, Wexford County, where, you know, she has a sister, a mother, and she's dating somebody. I guess the person she's dating maybe dated her mother for a while, and then the mother's married to somebody else named Bradley, and you know, it turns out where Rebecca was sort of lured to this, Rebecca Park was lured to this house, you know, with the mother and sister and all these other people involved, where she was killed. She was basically 9 months pregnant, and she was killed, and the baby was removed, and you know, law enforcement eventually found her body, but there was no baby. You know, and this is going to try to explain, I think, the whole thing. But if you guys could please help support the channel, that would be fantastic.
Conspiracy to commit torture, assault of a pregnant individual causing miscarriage or stillbirth. Conspiracy to commit assault of a pregnant individual causing miscarriage or stillbirth. Unlawful imprisonment. Removing a dead body without the consent of the medical examiner was committed by the defendant, and affiant is respectfully seeking a warrant for the defendant's arrest. On November 4, 2025, at 12:44, Wexford County Central Dispatch received call from Kimberly Sue Park, reporting that her sister, Rebecca K. Park, had not been seen since November 3, 2025, at approximately 2330 at 30S, 211 half R&D in Boone Township of Wexford County. Deputy
Yeah, that's like 11:30 p.m. at that address. And that address is right here, This one. That's where Cortney Bartholomew and Bradly Bartholomew live, right there.
Began Wexford County Sheriff's Office Incident Report 83 to 2,502,044 as a missing person investigation. At the time of the report, Rebecca Park was 38 weeks pregnant and living with her boyfriend Richard Lee Falor at 1531 N 41 1/2 R&D in Cedar Creek Township. Deputy Reed spoke with Courtney Marie Bartholomew, who is Rebecca Park's biological mother and lives at 30 S 21 1/2 R&D. Courtney reported that she was with Rebecca Park the prior night until approximately 8:30 p.m. when an unidentified friend picked Rebecca up from Courtney's residence. Courtney had picked Rebecca up from 1531 N 411 halves R&D to spend some time together and get ice cream from Culver's. On the way to Culver's, Rebecca told Courtney she needed Tide Pods, so Courtney returned to her address at 30 S 211 halves R&D to get some Tide Pods for her.
So that's like those things that you wash with, right? Yeah, so let's see. Courtney had picked up Rebecca from... I might put Clancy back in the house here in a minute. Because he's just being really antsy. He's kind of still right now, though. Courtney had picked up Rebecca from 1531 North. I think I have that one, too. Let's see. I go like that, and... Yeah, exactly. I already had that address. So Courtney went up and picked Rebecca up from her own home. That's where Rebecca lives. Courtney lives right here. And so Courtney had picked up Rebecca from her... So the mother picked up the daughter, Rebecca, from her own home, Rebecca's home, to spend some time together and get ice cream from Culver's. On the way to Culver's, Rebecca told Courtney... See, this is all just a story that Courtney would have told because Rebecca's not alive to say what really happened. Rebecca told Courtney she needed Tide Pods. So Courtney returned to her address, probably to explain why maybe her phone pinged over there, at 30 South 21st and a half Road to get some Tide Pods for her. Courtney went to the residence, grabbed the Tide Pods, and came outside. When she came outside, Rebecca, who just moments earlier wanted to go get some ice cream in Culver's, told her she was going to wait at the residence for a friend to pick her up. They waited a couple minutes, and a black sedan with tinted windows pulled across the road from the residence. Of course, it's a black sedan, right? Rebecca proceeded across the road and got into the front passenger seat of the vehicle. Courtney did not know the specific make or model of the sedan or the number of occupants in the car. She could not tell if the driver was male or female. She said that after this, she did not see Rebecca again. Courtney reported to Deputy Reed that she was contacted by Rebecca's fiancé, so the mother of Rebecca again, and we have the pictures. This is what it looks like right here. That's Courtney, real looker there. Somebody you'd want to bring home the mom on a first date. And then the stepfather here, Brad Bartholomew. And then the lovely daughter, Kimberly here. And then Rebecca's the victim. And her unborn, or whatever you want to call it, 9 months old. That's basically, it's a full human. And then the boyfriend, Richard Fowler here. And this is a picture in better times with Rebecca and Richard Fowler. He looks... Who does he look like right there? Believe it or not, he looks like Chris Watts, man. Look at that sucker. He's sitting... I mean, he's a clone of Chris Watts. Thanks, C. Daly. Oh, Bruce Holdaway said he'll donate 5 memberships if you guys do 5 memberships also. See if you guys can do it. You got to admit, though, he does kind of look like Chris Watts, doesn't he? In that picture. All right, you guys, do it. We got Bruce Holdaway. He's going to challenge. If you guys do 5, he'll do 5, which is basically 2 to 1. Thank you. Yeah, there's Wild Bill Wassman again. All right, so that we'll just kind of keep this handy there. I wonder if I open up, you know what I could do is, why don't we open up, I just want to go through this whole thing the way we do it. You know what I mean? I'm going to open up the Premiere file that has the audio file and the transcript in it. It's right here. Yeah, we need 4 more of those. Okay, and then I can bring it up, go to the text portion, and then we can, you know, if I want it to read again, I can find it in here pretty easily. Hey, look at Clancy's sitting pretty still. Still, pretty good job, Clancy. Not too bad. See, Cortney reported to Deputy Reed that she was contacted by Rebecca's fiance, Richard Fowler, regarding her location later that night. So Richard Fowler was looking. Cortney's claiming that Richard Fowler called and asked where she was. Cortney informed Rich she did not know where Rebecca was and that she had left with a friend. Cortney was contacted by Kimberly Park. So Kimberly is the sister right here. Cortney was contacted by Kimberly Park the morning of November 4th, 2025, and was sent a screenshot of the location where Rebecca Park's phone was pinging at. Cortney told Deputy Reed that she proceeded down the road. Okay, let's see. Cortney was contacted by Kimberly Park the morning of November 4th and was sent a screenshot of the location where Rebecca Park's phone was pinging at. So Cortney sent... Let's see. Cortney was contacted by Kimberly Park the morning and was sent a screenshot of the location. So Kimberly sent the location of where Rebecca's phone was to Cortney. Cortney told Deputy Reed that she proceeded down the road on West 26th Road where she found Rebecca's phone. Hey, wow, thank you guys. Jeez, I was looking up Michelle H. and Wild Bill Wassman, Michelle H., Ozzy Trisha shows up, and Christopher Marshburn, and then Ozzy Trisha, Gifted 5, and then, whoa, Bruce Holdaway matched the 5. So very cool. Thank you guys. You guys, I'm going to take off just for a second and put Clancy, who's keeps licking my hand when I'm trying to. I got to use my hand, so hold on a second. He kind of looks like a little bit like a pig, doesn't he? I mean, just slightly. Oh boy, man, Clancy was going nuts. He kept like licking my hand. Yeah, he was. He did look like, yeah, exactly. He looked like the piglet from Winnie the Pooh. Cute, though. All right, let's do this part again. Cortney was contacted by the sister of Rebecca the morning of November 4th, and Cortney was sent by that sister a screenshot of the location where Rebecca Park's phone was pinging at. Cortney told Deputy Reed that she proceeded down the road on West 26th Road, where she found Rebecca's phone lying by the 2-track just off of West 26th Road. So here we go. Let's go to that. This is West 26th right here. See that? And I think those are the 2 tracks right there. Unfortunately, I don't think this has the street view there. So you can go right there. There just happens to be, so you'd have to go down this road, and then there's a 2-track. So imagine looking down that road like that, and then right over here, I think the phone was found somewhere like right in there, right? Because that's about the only place that looks like that. Hey, thanks, Cheryl Bullock. I don't think there's anything more satisfying in true crime than having a probable cause document and going through it and trying to make, put it all together in a. So it's where she found Rebecca's phone lying by the 2 tracks off of West 26. This location is less than 200 yards from S30 South 21.5 Road. That's Courtney's mother's house. Courtney's house. The mother. Cortney checked the phone and thought Rebecca may have dropped it when she was using the restroom. Well, why would she use over there? Why was she doing there? Cortney reported that she took the phone to Richard Fowler's residence. So Richard Fowler is the boyfriend, again, of Rebecca. So she took the phone to him on Tuesday, November 4th, and went there and turned it over to him. All right. The sheriff's office issued a press release on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, identifying Rebecca Park as a missing person. She was also entered into the Law Enforcement Information Network as missing. Okay, let me just change the subject for a second. That same dipshit Idaho 4 guy that's putting out the looping. Oh, look at it looped. Ooh, it looped. He does this fake, stupid night vision look on every video. Like you have these, the videos where there's a, the walkthrough. He makes it look like night vision, and it's like that doesn't work. Night vision is a sensory sort of light program that detects light, certain lights, and that's what it looks like. It has no effect or value whatsoever by putting that, but everyone's like, ooh, look it. It's just creepy, creepy stuff that people actually buy into, that kind of stuff. Gray, why do you care? I just do, I do. I care. It's so weird. I mean, what in the hell are you doing? Let's see. On Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, Lieutenant Prisker met with Kimberly Park when she arrived at the Wexford County Sheriff's Office. Park had suggested that she might know where Rebecca... So the sister said she might know where Rebecca Park is when she arrived at the sheriff's office. When I asked her about this, she played me a voice message from her mother, Courtney Bartholomew, that said that, Araya Clark, I guess, had called her and said that 2 people in a car had pulled up to the Revival Center looking for Narcan, and had said that the pregnant woman that's missing got what she effing deserved. and this is all just a story invented. Cortney stated that it was Serena Rausch that said something to. I mean, look how, Rusty now. Who the hell's Rusty? And I guess it's Araya's father. So something to Rust. So let's see. Cortney stated that it was Serena Rausch that said something to Rusty, Clark, Araya's father. She also added, I guess it was an older guy that your sister left with. When I asked Kimberly if she knows where she is, where she's at, she answers that the only older guy that Rebecca talks to is Stephen Billett. I mean, how many names can we get in this one? And calls him a pervert. Park believes that Billett drives a black sedan, adding, like Cortney said, Stephen Billett was contacted and did not appear to have had contact with Rebecca Park. Oh, you got trolls in here? And then during the interview with Kimberly, she showed Lieutenant Prisker a Blue View brand Model 4 cellular telephone, which says Rebecca Park's phone on the home screen. Kimberly reported that, so the sister of Rebecca reported that she has looked through the phone and observed that the last communications on the phone reporting a missing video call from clunin14@gmail.com on Friday, October 3rd at 8:43 p.m. The last text message was on Sunday, and the last phone call was to her mother, Cortney Bartholomew, on Sunday, November 2nd, at looks like 9:14 p.m. in the evening. Kimberly identified that Rebecca uses her phone regularly and daily, and because she did not see any communication on Monday, November 3rd, 2025, she suspects that records of phone activity on the 3rd have been deleted. Kimberly reported that Rebecca is known to regularly delete communication records from her cell phone. So the sister says, oh yeah, Kimberly, the living sister, said, oh yeah, my sister Rebecca is known to regularly delete communication records from her cell phone. Okay, I mean, that's bullshit. Hardly anybody ever does that, and that means that they're trying to explain why there's messages on her phone that are deleted, but I would think that they'd be able to determine when they were deleted, and would be likely after the time that Rebecca was killed. All right. Kimberly then placed another voice message. Then played another voice message on her phone from her mother, Cortney, who can be heard explaining, okay, when Randy passed away, I was told that your sister had something to do with it. That would give Randy's family a murder revenge thing because she was involved when it came to Randy. On the message, Cortney suggested, so Stephen Billett is connected to Randy's family, so I would definitely be looking at them. So maybe Cortney's trying to, have people look in different directions. I don't even know if it's important to have these people's names memorized. I would definitely be looking at them. When I asked Kimberly, this detective asked Kimberly, the sister of Rebecca, if she trusted Cortney, she responded, not really. I'm kind of wondering if Rebecca and, I've sort of had that feeling sort of lately that maybe Kimberly and boyfriend and Richard Fowler don't really have as much to do with what happened as Cortney and Brad. I'm just wondering. Maybe they helped cover it up or something, but my initial theory is that the baby that Rebecca was carrying is actually Brad's baby. Okay, that's my my theory. It's the only way to make sense of this whole thing. That's why the mother would want to kill her daughter, and that's why Brad wouldn't want the daughter to have the baby because he'd be responsible for that one too, and it's just this whole mess. And so maybe they thought, ooh, well, how about if we kill her, we'll keep the baby, and we can raise it as our own and pretend that you were pregnant. And then we'll just make it look like Rebecca disappeared, you know? I don't need a new hat. It's over here. Look, I got it right here. I just didn't wear it. Gluten-free cigarettes. All right.
For a new hat and gluten-free cigarettes.
Sounds good. Thanks, Bruce. Okay, and then on Thursday, November 6, 2025, at 1:55, Detective Pisker obtained a search warrant for Blue View. Okay, I think we did that part. On Saturday, November 8th, 2025, members of all... so the phone was submitted to Michigan State Police computer. Okay, I guess that means that they got a search warrant, so that we hadn't read that yet. And it's a cellular telephone that had been entered as property in the incident at item 54. The cellular device was submitted to the Michigan State Police Crimes Unit on the same date at 3:16. On Saturday, November 8th, 2025, members of All County Search and Rescue Christian Aid Ministries Search and Rescue, with 36 personnel comprised of 5 teams, searched the area where Rebecca Park was last seen. So you're talking 36 people. They were all looking around in the area where a cellular telephone was recovered from. So they looked in the area where the phone was recovered from. No additional evidence was identified. And basically, where the telephone was recovered from, how do we even know that that's where the phone was recovered from? You know what I mean? That's just Courtney saying, or even Kimberly, who sent the text message of the location. I mean, if that's a real sort of screenshot that was sent, then sure. Right? During this time, numerous tips and leads were coming in and were being actively investigated. However, none located Rebecca Park. Due to reported activity on Rebecca's social media platform, pen register search warrants were obtained and served on her known social media accounts. However, no outgoing use was ever identified. See, due to reported activity on Rebecca's social media platform, warrants obtained and served on her known social media accounts. However, no outgoing use was ever identified. On November 15th, Candace Freeman reported to Deputy Jacob Kaponen that her sister, Cortney Bartholomew, so that means Candace is the sister of Courtney, had texted her on October 28th that she had given birth. See, look at that. That just shows you how premeditated all this is. So this is October 28th, and I think Courtney went missing on like November 2nd or something, or 3rd, you know, something right around then. So on October 28th, the mother told her sister, Courtney told her sister, that she had given birth to a son. So that must mean that the baby that Rebecca had was actually a male. Because I think what she's doing is setting, you know, it's sort of interesting. I think that's possible that they wanted to keep that baby alive. Had texted her on October 28th that she had given birth to a son and was asking Candace for items for the baby. Through a series of text messages, Courtney said that she had given birth at 28 weeks, so 7 months. The baby was in the NICU, Neonatal Intensive Care Unit, in Grand Rapids, and that she had named the baby Ashton Lee Bartholomew. Courtney told Candace he's supposed to come home this coming week as long as he's doing good still, he will. So the baby's supposed to come home this week. As long as he's doing good, he'll come home. On Monday, November 3rd, I think this is the day that Rebecca goes missing. At 2:52, Candace asked Cortney if she was able to bring the baby home, and Cortney told her, no, he did a backslide, but still hoping this week. On November 3rd, 2025, at 11:17 p.m., Cortney sent Candace, her sister, a text message that reads, "My son passed away." On Tuesday, November 4th, at 11:18 p.m., Candace asked if it was because he wasn't strong enough or if he had gotten sick. Cortney answered, "I don't know what happened. I just know he wasn't getting air," and added, "All I know is I watched the child die right in front of me." Candace asked if she was there when it happened. "I watched the child die right in front of me." See, what that means is I think she was trying to have the baby alive for herself. And then it died. And why would you say that right there? I watched the child die right in front of me. Candace asked if she was there when it happened, and Cortney answered, "Yes, I was." So she's kind of referring to the baby that was inside of Rebecca this whole time. But hey, guys, if you're out there, if you could please help support the channel. We've hit one of those massive lulls that we seem to always get. And we're currently only at 40% of a nightly goal. So if you have the ability, that would be awesome. Thank you. Let's see. Due to reporting Rebecca's social... Okay, we already done it. My son passed away. Cortney begins to discuss... Well, let's see. My son passed away on Tuesday, November 4th. Yeah, we already read that. And then right down here, Candace asked if it was because he wasn't strong. And then she admits that she was there when he died on Tuesday, November 4th. At 7:11, Cortney begins to discuss with Candace that Rebecca Park is missing. Oh man, I lost my baby and Rebecca's missing. On Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, preservation request for tower dump area. Search for the tower in the location of... Oh, look at that. Here's the cell tower coordinates that we can put in here. Oh, look, it's just right there. Jeez, they have a cell tower at their house. I think that's what they're saying. Wait, let me read that again. Yeah, preservation request for tower dump area. Search for the tower in the location. Man, there's actually a cell tower right there. That's wild. I don't know, I don't really see that. But yeah, you guys, if you're out there and you can help support the channel, my channel relies on you guys to keep going. I know I'm sorry that I don't seem to be able to draw more people here. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't pretend something's night vision, you know. It's just is what it is. It's weird. I don't know where that tower is. On Tuesday, November 11th, 2025. Oh, let's see it right here. It says Pisker had contacted Cortney Bartholomew about another interview. Bartholomew was reluctant to come in, suggesting that Deputy Reed's interview with her had been thorough, but eventually agreed. On Tuesday, November 11th, 2025, at 1:49. Pisker conducted a recorded interview with Cortney Bartholomew. Initially, some background on Cortney and her biological children raised by the Park family is established. Cortney then reports how Rebecca and Richard Fowler were initially dating. Okay. Yeah, see, that's true then. Cortney then reports... Wait, let's see. Maybe it's not. Cortney then reports how Rebecca and Richard Fowler were initially dating and they broke up. A relationship between herself and Rich then commences. Oh, so Cortney, they're saying Cortney broke up with, let's see, Rebecca broke up with Richard Fowler. Then Richard Fowler started dating Cortney, or whatever you want to call it. Wow, that's crazy. So Cortney then reports how Rebecca and Richard Fowler were dating, and then they broke up. A relationship between herself and Rich then commences. Jeez. That's ridiculous. So that means these two were dating. They break. So it's the other way around, the story. I mean, it might be how we thought it was, because, you know, the mom's lying here. But now we know at least that there was sort of this triangle here. All right, let's see if we can get somebody else to do another challenge in here, because we're just dead in the water again. Let's see. Richard Fowler were initially dating, and they broke up, and a relationship between herself and Rich then commences. Cortney reports that she was planning to divorce Bradley. Wow. Cortney then became pregnant and was unsure who the father might be. Oh, God. How would she not know who the... pregnant, unsure of who the father might be, Bradley or Rich. Oh, so I was right. I just guessed on this thing. See, that means Cortney then Cortney became pregnant. Oh, jeez, this is confusing. Cortney then became pregnant and was unsure who the father might be, Bradley or Richard. Because of this, she stopped her divorce approximately 2 weeks before the court date, but she was never pregnant, though. Cortney reports that Rich showed up at her house with the intention of shooting Bradly Bartholomew. After Cortney rejected Rich, he resumed his relationship with Rebecca again. I don't believe any. I think all this is just garbage. Cortney also reported that Rich had returned to her residence and assaulted her. So now she's saying that Rich assaulted her forcefully, causing her to have a miscarriage of the baby she was carrying. A report of this incident was made with the sheriff's office. However, Cortney said Rich was not charged. So that is something that actually happened then? Or? Cortney identified that she was concerned for Rebecca, as she was aware of how abusive and aggressive Richard Fowler could be, and has encouraged Rebecca to leave Rich. Man, you guys, how did it just get dead as a doornail? Like it was kind of cool. We had a nice flow going. People were supporting the channel, and now it's just dead as a doornail. What happened? I mean, it just it's wild how that works. I don't know what to do any differently than I'm doing. Yeah. So when Lieutenant Prisker asked about things leading up to the weekend, Cortney reported on Kimberly and Rebecca coming over on Saturday, November 1st. So Cortney reported that Rebecca, Kimberly, both sisters came over on Saturday, November 1st, 2025 to her residence. Cortney told Prisker about giving envelopes to Kimberly and Rebecca. These envelopes were later reported by both Kimberly and Rebecca to have been empty. Cortney said that she was going to give Rebecca cash and didn't want Kimberly to feel left out. So you made them empty? So she wanted Kimberly to set up an account so she could put money in an account for her. Cortney then reported having forgotten to give Rebecca some items for her baby while at the house, so she contacted Rebecca and then brought the items to her at Richard Fowler's house Saturday night. Yeah, I don't know, you guys. Whenever I'm reading, everything dies down dramatically in here. So Not sure. I've told you guys about that 1,000 times. Whenever I read or play audio, it just goes, and that's what's happening now. So what do you guys want me to do? Nobody's nobody's typing. I'm not here to just be a podcast and read out loud so you can go and do something else somewhere. I'm just staring at the screen, waiting for the next comment. It's been 5 minutes before it even moved. Sure, it's crazy. Nobody seems interested, though. I'm sitting here reading and reading and reading, and it just died. So it might be the way I'm reading it, or, I mean, what do you guys want me to do? What does that mean, Kim? You barely? What does that even mean? That's such a stupid... Write better English, Kim. I would like to hear the rest of it. There's a whole bunch more. If I read and read and read, I've seen this happen on the show before. It just dies completely. Oh, I don't know. I don't mean if there's a hashtag in there. What do you mean you saw the hashtag? Oh, jeez. Oh, yeah, I just meant the Idaho. I don't know. I just used the night before's show. I forgot to change that part of it. Yeah. Yeah, who cares though, Laura Ann? Why do you give a shit? God, people like you are just so ridiculous. It's unbelievable. You know, you come in here and you mention how, oh, hey, there's a hashtag in there. I really care. It's like, well, I'm doing a show about something else. Why don't you get the hell out of here? All right, here we go. It's ridiculous. What does it have to do with this show? Let's see. Courtney, where are we at here? That's her story. Courtney said Rich was not charged in that one. Then we're down here. Okay, these are the envelopes. Have been. Courtney said that she was going to give Rebecca cash and didn't want Kimberly to feel left out, so she wanted Kimberly to set up an account. Courtney then reports having forgotten to give Rebecca some items for her baby while at the house, so she contacted Rebecca and then brought the items to her at Richard Fowler's house Saturday night. Courtney then told Lieutenant Pisker that on Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, she was supposed to pick Rebecca up to have milkshakes at Dairy Queen and get Rebecca laundry soap. What are you talking about, potato dipshit? I've never said anything like that at all. On my channel, every single night, I try to raise funds to help support the channel, and at the end of the month, we give out thousands of dollars to true crime-related charities. I can't have nights where it's just dead as a doornail, and I'm working my ass off doing all the stuff that I do. I spent the whole day trying to get the different FOIA requests, etc. I had to go get these documents out there as well. And I don't know where you guys come from. I never accuse anybody of doing anything like that at all. I'm not faking something, you idiot. I'm actually going over a probable cause document. I didn't put some crazy green tint on it. You know? If any of the channels, I mean, I'm just so frustrated with the whole thing, you know? You know, you can't win if you just put out factual information and go over it. Very, very frustrating. You know, if you have a freaking green hue on your screen, everybody wants to watch because you pretended it was night vision. Yeah, see, these are trolls that just couldn't control themselves. But thanks for letting us know. We can get rid of you. It's okay, Wild Bill Lossman. You know, I mean, I really appreciate it, but man, it seems like other people, you know, it's just kind of, yeah. So frustrating. God, it's unbelievable. Anyways, Courtney then told Prisker that on Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, she was supposed to pick Rebecca up to have shakes at Dairy Queen. I thought it was ice cream. And get Rebecca laundry soap, right? These plans fell through. Then Rebecca went to Cadillac Munson Hospital as she thought she was in labor. Courtney reported that she and Bradley both visited Rebecca and Rich in the hospital that day. It is confirmed that Rebecca was not in labor and had only dilated to 1, and she was released from the hospital. So that's probably something that they could verify. Bartholomew drove Rebecca. So Courtney drove her daughter Rebecca and Rebecca's now back together boyfriend Rich home from the hospital. Courtney said that when they arrived at Fowler's, he was throwing their bags, and Rebecca had whispered to her that Rich had been acting like a real big ass mom. Wait, let's see. Courtney said that when they arrived at Fowler's, he was throwing their bags, and Rebecca whispered to Courtney that he'd been acting like a real big ass mom. Courtney offered to take her home with her, and Rebecca requested that they just meet for milkshakes tomorrow, Monday, November 3rd. Again, I just want to, you know, I wanted milkshakes today, but let's do it tomorrow. On Monday, November 3rd, 2025, Courtney said that she went to pick Rebecca up between 6:30 and 7 at Fowler's. Courtney reports that as they ride. What's Fowler's? Rich's house. Hey, wow, thanks, Chris O'Connell. Some life out there. It's amazing. I think it's so funny when people say that it's grifting to try to raise money on your show for your channel. You know, it's like, no, what grifting is when you trick people into like this whole, like, oh, look at this, ooh, it's like a scam or something. That's not what we're doing here. You know, everybody knows I'm trying to support my channel, to keep it alive, keep it going. And also at the end of the month, if I have enough ad revenue, etc., I donate thousands of dollars out of the income. How come people are so stupid you don't get that? Can I understand that? There's so many absolute idiots out there that don't understand that simple thing. They're morons. It's unbelievable. And we're the only channel that does this. My channel's given $272,000 out since January of 2020. Can you name another channel that's given $2,000? No, you can't. So shut the hell up when you're bitching about that. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's just, I don't know how many more times I can say it. I go to sleep. The only part that I don't like is having to ask 1,700 times on some nights. It's just, I don't like it. It's not fun. It's, you know, it's just something I don't want to do. I wish people would just, if you can, you can. That'd be great. Yeah, the people that are gifted memberships, hundreds and hundreds of gifted memberships, I think, yeah, where are those people? You know, where are those people? You know, hopefully a few stay around. Who knows? But some of them are just trolls. Jackasses who steal memberships from people who may have wanted them. Yeah. Anyways, thank you. On Monday, November 3rd, 2025, Cortney said that she went to pick Rebecca up at 6:30 and 7 at Fowler's. Cortney reports that as they ride, Rebecca said she was tired, which she confronted by telling her she looked stressed. She claimed that Rebecca was upset with Rich Fowler, identifying that he had been hounding her to obtain money to fix his truck. Cortney talked about how she encouraged Rebecca to leave Rich, but said Rebecca was afraid to leave him. So I think almost all of this narrative, this story, is fake. Cortney said when they arrived at her house, she gave Rebecca an envelope with $2,000 in cash. Cortney said when they arrived at her house, she gave Rebecca bullshit. Rebecca an envelope with $2,000 in cash. And they discussed Cortney throwing her a baby shower. Right. Oh, we love your kid. Here's $2,000. Complete bullshit. She identified that Rebecca didn't want a baby shower. I'm glad I kept reading there. Baby shower because she was afraid that Child Protective Service was going to take the baby. Cortney said that while they were talking, Rebecca was texting on her phone and mentioned the possibility that she had two phones. Cortney said she went into the house to get laundry soap and then she came back out, she said. I noticed that she deleted something but didn't know what it was. I noticed that she deleted something but didn't know what it was or which phone it might have been on. Cortney said she told Rebecca that she would take her back home, but Rebecca told her to hold on. She had someone coming to get her. Okay, Cortney said that while they were talking, Rebecca was texting on her phone and mentioning the possibility that she had two phones. Why would she say that? Cortney said she went into the house to get laundry soap, right? And then when she came back out, she said, I noticed that she deleted something. How would you notice that? But didn't know what it was or which phone it might have. What are you talking about? I noticed she deleted something. You know, I wasn't sure what phone it was or, you know. How would you notice somebody deleting something? Cortney said she told Rebecca that she would take her back home, but Rebecca told her to hold on. She had someone coming to get her. Cortney said she pulled out of her driveway and a car came up behind her. She identified that she didn't ask Rebecca who it was out of fear she would push her away. Oh, Jesus. But Rebecca had told her she would be back. Cortney said the car had, so listen, I would have known who it was, but I was scared to ask because, you know, I didn't want my daughter to push me away. Cortney said the car had dark tinted windows, of course, you know, these mysterious dark cars. There was no plate on the car, but she could tell it was a Chevy. When questioned, that social media was reporting the car had the taillights of an Impala, Cortney confirmed she was the source of that information. Cortney talked about someone Rebecca knows who has a Chrysler 300, also having similar taillights. Bartholomew didn't follow the car, as she again said that it would upset Rebecca if she had. Cortney said that at 11 o'clock, she reached out to Kimberly to get Rich's number. At 11:30 p.m., she said she tried to call Rich, so she sent him a text message. I sent him a text that Rebecca had left with somebody. Cortney confirmed that Rebecca was texting while they were together. Her text contact with Rich was Tuesday morning, and she reported telling him that she had given Rebecca $2,000. Cortney then said that Kimberly sent her the GPS location to Rebecca's phone. Cortney then said that Kimberly sent her, yeah, so this is kind of repeated stuff, to Rebecca's phone, which she said she put into her phone, and it took her to the right to the phone. When I asked who went and got the phone, Cortney then identified we, who was identified as Bradley and herself. Okay, yeah. See, the phone wasn't found there. That's exactly what I thought. It is reported that Bradley found the phone and he handed it to Cortney. Lieutenant Prisker confronted Cortney of an image she had sent to Rebecca of a check that was made out in her name for $18,000. She claimed that when her mother died, she was left money to do with what she pleased. Let's see. Prisker confronted Cortney of an image she had sent to Rebecca. Oh, wow. So that she must have sent Cortney an image of 18. Come get it, man. My mother died. Here's 18,000 that was left for you, and I bet you that's what lured Rebecca over to the house. That's my guess. Just I didn't even get to listen to the audio earlier. Hey, thanks, Bella G. Where you at, Paulette? I thought you liked this stuff. Let's see. Cortney confirmed that she sent an image of a check to Rebecca, but that she had not given the check to her. Cortney denied that there was a similar check made out to Kimberly. A statement that Cortney had tried to have this meeting prior had fallen through because she didn't have any things in place that she needed to. Cortney said it was simply getting kids together at one time was what wasn't falling into place. Cortney said it was simply getting kids together at one time was what wasn't following. Okay, so they weren't able to all get together. When Lieutenant Prisker confronts Cortney that the phone records for the phone that was found on the 2-track was not used to summon someone to pick her up. Cortney then identifies that there are possibly 2 other phones she uses. Okay. Cortney brings up the names of other people she thinks may be involved based on rumors, specifically that Mike Haynes and Ashley Croes were supposedly to help Rebecca get away from Fowler. Lieutenant Prisker discussed phone location records with Cortney. She confirms that she picked Rebecca up at 6:30 and 7 between that time, and came south on S41 South Road. Let's see where that is. Let's see. I bet we can just find it by looking at. That's where Rebecca lives. Is it up here? Wow. Yeah. How would you get to from Rebecca's house? That's crazy. I mean, that's just such an I mean, I guess you go on the highway there. Yeah, it doesn't pop up. Crazy. Well, it's East 26. 24. And what was it called again? South. So it must be one of these. Okay, there's South 31. 33. 37. There's 43 and a half. It's 41 and a half. It must be right over here. That's north 41 and a half road. So south, it would probably be that same road, wouldn't it be down here? That's north 41. Huh. Well, at least it probably does exist because there's north 41 and a half. So there's 41. I don't know, is it up here then? It's 41. So I think that might even be like old Highway 131. But hey guys, we're on one of those massive lulls again. We're still only about 60% of just the low end goal. So if you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be great. Thank you. All right, so she came south on S41 and a half south to Mackinac Trail. Let me see if that helps. Hold on. Mackinac. Looks like we were close. Mackinac Trail. That's weird. It's like we were right on the right. You know, because right up here it's... See, that's north 43rd there. But, I mean, right over here it had... That's north 41 and a half road. And it goes down to there. Is it still... It's called something else. But yeah, maybe it's way down here somewhere. I don't know. And turn west onto East 30th Road to continue out to her residence on South 21st and a half Road. Location data from Rebecca's phone supported this route of travel. Okay, well let's now we gotta put that in there. East 30 and a quarter. Jesus, what kind of names are these? So East 30 and a East 30th Road. Let's see, maybe it's over here. Okay. East 30th and a quarter. Yeah, I don't know how to... See, there's kind of... That one sort of makes sense, but... Like you would drive from here down. What's the name of this one? That's South 21st and a half.
Hello from Washington State. Don't let the jerks get you down. You do amazing work.
Hey, thank you. Yeah, I'm not interested at all. RR, whatever. Hey, thanks, Tamsters. And Kai Geraz Rider. Can you guys come up with some names that are just simple? Let's see. Yeah, I can't. I don't know what that. What is it saying there? KYJRS Rider. Thank you. Never heard of that case. Yeah, I'm sort of struggling with this. Courtney, she confronted that she picked Rebecca. Okay, so she picked Rebecca up. So here's where Rebecca lives. It's pretty close. So from here, what's the name of this street? Oh, well that's 41 and a half here. So it must be what she's talking about. It's north though, not south. It's north 41 and a half. So let's go like that. To Mackinac Trail. No, we already know where that is. Okay, Mackinac Trail. Oh. So she went south to Mackinac Trail. Do these run into each other? Right here. Ding, ding, ding. Right there. Boom. That's sweet. Okay, so right there, there is the Mackinac Trail and 41 and a half road right there. Okay, so we have that one, and then it starts up here. It goes right down this road, goes to here, and then turns west onto, so after getting onto Mackinac Trail, which is right here, drives down to East 30th, and so let's just wait until we find that. It's going to be something. Oh, it's right here. Yeah, right there. East 30th. And 3/4. Jeez, what kind of dumb names are these? You gotta be kidding me. My horse's name is Icelandic because she's an Iceland. Oh, cool. How do you, can you phonetically pronounce it? That'd be cool. Icelandic. You know, I had a fraternity member when I was at University of Oregon. He was from Iceland. He was really good soccer player named Runar Gunnarsson. So his name is Runar, and he's the son of Gunnar. But that was his name, Runar Gunnarsson. And the Portland Trailblazers had a center from Iceland, if you can believe that. His name was Peter Gudmundsson. So that means his name is Peter, the son of Gudmund. Man, I'm so good at this stuff. You know, you guys, I tell you what. It's, what do you mean a mystery stream? Yeah, there's a picture on the front of who it is. It's Rebecca Park. It actually talks about it in the description. All right, let's see. So it goes east, that street right there, and then it continued out to her residence on. So let's see. Does that make sense? So what'd she do? Drive like that? To continue road to continued out to her residence on South 21st and a half road location, and so it all made sense. So I guess from here drove out to, that's the residence right there, but that doesn't really give you the rest of the detail, but apparently it made sense. When Lieutenant Pisker confronted Cortney with the accusations that she killed Rebecca Park, she asked, "Why the F would I do that?" saying that she would never hurt her daughter. During this interview, Cortney Bartholomew said she did not know where Rebecca Park was. When Cortney was asked if she had, I know you guys like to look at the words. Gray, where's the words? Gray, where's the words? Right? Come on, you guys. How many times have you guys said that? Okay, don't type in caps in here, Pennywise. The only person that gets to do that is one of our own, Watts. Okay. Let's see. Right. During this interview, Cortney Bartholomew said she did not know where Rebecca Park was. When Cortney was asked if she had done anything to harm Rebecca Park, she again said she would not hurt her daughter. While discussing the pickup truck at her residence that was reported to never... Hey, thanks so much. Here's to Runar Gunnar.
Here's to Runar
Hey, that's...
Gunnarsson.
You combined them. It's Runar Gunnarsson and Peter Goodmanson. Now it's Runar, the son of Goodman. Yeah. How similar is Icelandic to like Norwegian, or is there any kind of similarity at all, or is it just kind of its own deal? Thank you, Chris O'Connell. Runar Goodmanson. The combination. While discussing the pickup truck at her residence that was reported to never move but had been moved recently, Cortney reported it doesn't have seats in it, but said that it was moved recently to make room to access the porch. Cortney said that Kimberly and Rebecca, I bet you she was like strangled, I don't even know. She was tortured, so I guess it couldn't be that. To make room on the porch. Cortney said that Kimberly and Rebecca do not like Bradly Bartholomew. On Tuesday, November 11, 2025, at 3:40, Lieutenant Pisker conducted a recorded interview with Bradly Bartholomew. He confirmed his cellular telephone number, and they actually have the number in here. You know, it'd be interesting. Let me just try this one site that I have here. I'm going to throw that phone number in there and see what it does. All right, let's see. 231. Is it going to work? I'll put the 1 in the front. All right, here we go. Let's see where it places him. Hopefully, I think we can maybe get through this whole thing. Oh yeah? Huh. Okay. My brother learned Norwegian fluently. Like they thought he was from there. I'm just looking at his... I just typed his phone in onto this site. I'm hoping it comes up with a location thing. So far, no. Looks like T-Mobile or AT&T in Petoskey, Michigan. Ah, forget it. Nothing on there. Wait, what are you talking about? The CW. What's that? What do you got? What are you talking about, Lisa? Oh, Brian Walls. Yeah. Oh, you guys are still watching that damn thing? Jesus, man. I lost interest in that real quick. Especially since nobody watched. I spent 4 hours a day making a condensed version down to 3 hours, and it would get like 400 views and ad revenue of 60 cents. What makes it interesting? Seems like he has a pretty good defense attorney, though. When asked about Rebecca, Bradley reported that they don't get along. Let's see, on Tuesday, November 11th, Pisker conducted a recorded interview with Bradley. He confirmed his cellular telephone number. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. He said, let's go, freaks. When asked about Rebecca, Bradley reported that they don't get along. So he's saying he didn't get along with Rebecca, that they don't get along. See, to me that means that maybe that's his baby. He explained that it is due to his criminal history. He describes Rebecca and Courtney's relationship as rocky. Bradley said that he was not around on Monday when Rebecca was at the house. He identified that he was at my place and described living in the woods here near Harrietta and the fish hatchery. Lieutenant Pisker was attempting to confirm his presence there. Bradley said he was alone and that his phone was with Courtney and her phone was about to be shut off. He was not around on Monday when Rebecca was at the house. He identified that he was at my place and described living in the woods near Harrietta and the fish hatchery. Like Pisker was attempting to confirm his presence there. Let's see. Bradley said he was alone and that his phone was with Courtney. Why? As her phone was about to be shut off. So you just went out in the middle of the woods somewhere with no way to contact anybody and let her use the phone? I don't know. That sounds pretty crazy. Yeah, see you later, Penny Wiseman. You sound like an absolute troublemaker. Good luck. Nobody was talking to you. I just timed them out for 30 minutes. They're a troll, obviously. I don't even know who they were talking to. So you guys sit there and watch the Walsh trial all during the daytime, or like what are you guys doing? Like you have it on for 8 hours and okay, the truck at the house was discussed and identified as not moving, not as not having moved in years. I wonder if you can see it on there, because these street views are old, you know. So let's see if that truck is just sitting there. Wouldn't that be crazy? Well, yeah, I could say that one wasn't going to move. Maybe it's that one right there, though. Could it be that one? That old truck? Wow, thanks, Chris O'Connell. Thank you. Will it make the sound? I hope so. Hmm. Okay. Yeah, I just kind of... I wasn't even able to listen to much of the first 3 days of the trial that I spent 4 hours making the quick version for you guys to watch. Deleting... I bet it was pretty easy to follow like that. But, you know, when you're making it, you can't listen to it. You just make it. Because you have to put it together. I'm trying to figure out where's the sound effect. Yeah, I guess it doesn't exist. Okay, the truck at the house was discussed and identified as not having moved in years. Bradley said that he had been driving the truck up until October 21st, 2025, when the license plate expired. When asked if the seats were out of the truck, Bradly confirmed that they had been. He explained a similar explanation, that they are cleaning the truck up for Cortney's son, Bentley, to drive when he turned 16. When Bentley was asked when he found out that Rebecca was missing, when Bradley was asked when he found out Rebecca was missing, he identified it was Monday night or Tuesday morning. He again denied being at the residence. Bradly told Pisker that on Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, Cortney Bartholomew was in town and was at the house with Bentley when Courtney texted him the location of where Rebecca's phone was. Bradly said he refused to go out there alone because I'm not being accused of anything. Bradly said that when Cortney got home, they went out together to look for the phone based on a ping that Kimberly Park had sent to Cortney. Bradly confirmed that he was the person who found Rebecca Park's cellular device. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually placed her phone there. I'd like to know what the movement of the phone was just prior to being placed there, because then they put it there and then, oh wow, look, there's a ping, and make it seem natural, like they found it on a cell phone, GPS location. Who found Rebecca's cellular device on the two-track near 30 South 21 and a half Road, and he picked it up and handed it to Cortney. Bradly said he didn't know how Rebecca's phone ended up on the trail, but suggested she had walked that trail in the past. On Monday, November 24th, 2025, Cortney Bartholomew came to the sheriff's office, and Lieutenant Pisker began recorded interview with her. There is a discussion about the TikTok live conversations. I asked Cortney about a cellular device that a bounty hunter dropped off at the Clare City Police Department. She identified this phone was provided by Kimberly. During this meeting, I asked Cortney about Kimberly's personal property in her vehicle. She confirmed she was in possession of items that belonged to Kimberly. However, she didn't want to leave the items with me to return to Kimberly. Yeah, let me find this. I'm going to have my program read it for a while. Let's see. I should be able to go up here and then type that up in there. And kind of looks like, didn't that work? Yeah, it didn't really work. Let's see, what word? Tim Helen. How about that? That should be able to do it. No, that's not it either. So let me see if it even works. Conspiracy. Yeah, there it is. All right, Helen, like that. Hillian, Tim Hillian. Is that it? Bradly Bartholomew was interviewed by Lieutenant Tim. Was that part? Was interviewed at the state laboratory during the interview. Yeah. Does it say that right out there? There it is. All right.
Was interviewed by Lieutenant Tim Helian at the Michigan State Police Crime Laboratory in Grayling. During his interview, Bradly reported that he is trying to protect Kimberly Park. He said that Kimberly took Rebecca down a two-track behind the house, and he stated, "I believe she's dead." Bradly Bartholomew said to Lieutenant Tim Helian that he was present during a dinner with Cortney Bartholomew, Rebecca Park, and Kimberly Park on Saturday, November 1st, 2025, at 30S21 1/2 R&D. During this time, Bradly said that Kimberly had a private conversation with him asking about the two tracks behind the house, and that Kimberly stated she needed to get Rebecca out of the picture. On Tuesday, November 25th, Wait,
what is that? So let's see. It says, had a private conversation with him. During this time, Bradly said that Kimberly, the sister, had a private conversation with him asking about the 2 tracks behind the house, and that Kimberly stated she needed to get Rebecca out of the picture. So was she interested in Rich too then? See, that's what I was saying the other day. It's like, is the sister interested in Rich, but the baby that Rebecca is carrying is actually Brad's? And so all of these people, you have to find what's the motive of all these people to have, especially family members, to kill Rebecca. It's crazy, right?
2025 at 14:16. Wexford County Central Dispatch received a 911 call from Courtney Letterman from telephone number 231-729-0413, stating that she had found a body covered with leaves that looks gutted. The location of the body was approximately 2.5 miles in a straight line west of 30S, 20...
Okay, let me go back up a little bit. There we go.
On Tuesday, November 25, 2025 at 14:16, Wexford County Central Dispatch received a 911 call from Courtney Letterman from telephone number 231-729-0413, stating that she had found a body covered with leaves that looks gutted. The location of the body was approximately 2.5 miles in a straight line west of 30S, 21½ R&D in Antioch Township of Wexford County, on Forest Service R&D, 9,784. Wexford County Deputy Jacob Koponen responded to the area, observed the remains, and reported the deceased female has a tattoo above the left eye. Koponen reported that the abdomen area of the body appears to have been cut open. The tattoo located above the left eye is consistent with the Michigan driver's license images of Rebecca K. Park. Michigan State Police Trooper Cody Campbell was inside the residence at 30S 21½ R.
Well, that's crazy. So that's nowhere near. People were saying she was found at the house. Wow, let's see what this looks gutted. The location of the body was approximately 2.5 miles in a straight line west of 30 South 21½ Road in Antioch Township. So let's see up here. Rebecca, during Bradley that Kimberly had a private conversation on Tuesday, November 25th, from telephone, stating she had found a body covered with leaves that looks gutted. The location of the body was 2.5 miles in a straight line west of the house. Okay, let's see. So we go up in here, and this is, well, that's the house address is 3020, so it's 2.5 miles west. So you go like here. Let's just go from here. So it must be down on this road over here. Or man, is that, can you, how do you get out there? Is this, how did a searcher find this? Oh, maybe right there. Look at that. Ooh, ooh. On that little side road there. That's 2.51. So that means maybe on this dirt road here. That's crazy. So that's how they got her there. And that actually looks like that's what that is. So they must have driven, maybe out here. I don't know. Came around. I mean, maybe there's some way. I mean, look right there. There is a little bit of a road in there. Let's just do a different time of year where we can see better. Ah, that's perfect for that. That's 2022, so let's see. How would you get over to there? That's almost perfect, though. Like, this is a road, and then boom, 2.5 miles precisely west. I can't really see. It looks like there's something right here, though. See that? And then maybe right there. Oh, yeah. I can kind of see this road in there. You see that? That's wild. Yeah, it's right in here. See that? It goes up like that. I don't think that's an optical illusion. I mean, this right there, see? And then it goes in. And then it looks like right in there again. So comes through. And then right there, see that? Can you guys can make that out, right? That looks different. Right there. And then sort of does end there. So I don't know if it makes it all the way over here, but this right there is 2.51 miles directly west of the house. So to me, it seems like they found a way to get onto this road, perhaps, and then dumped her body right around in there. Does that make sense? Ah, jeez. You guys aren't even talking about the case, are you? It's just like ridiculous. What does knitting have to do with what we're talking about here? What does knitting have to do with this? We're trying to find, yeah. Yeah. I don't know what you're talking about. Oh well. You guys just do your own thing. I'm going to try to do this. Hey, welcome. Jenna Rue 8527. Alright, so it's 2.5 miles. Okay, let me go back to this. So I got this open. Play this.
D. On Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, securing the residence until the Michigan State Police. Crime laboratory personnel.
Wait a second. So that's right. They found the body, had tattoo.
The tattoo located above the left eye is consistent with the Michigan driver's license images of Rebecca K. Park. Michigan State Police Trooper Cody Campbell was inside the residence at 30S21 R&D on Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, securing the residence until the Michigan State Police. Crime laboratory personnel could search the home based on a search warrant that had been authorized on that date. While in the presence of Cortney Bartholomew and Bradly Bartholomew, Cortney and Bradly were discussing amongst themselves, loud enough for Trooper Campbell to hear. Cortney mentioned to Bradly that the seat cover from the Ford F-150 in the driveway had recently been burned and disposed of due to something having been spilled on it them. A search warrant was served on T-Mobile for Bradly Bartholomew's known cellular telephone number 231-550-9134. The records that were produced pursuant to the search warrant show Bradly Bartholomew's device active in the area of 30S21 R&D on November 3, 2025. Further, these records show device movement and lingering in the areas consistent with where Bradly and Cortney reported recovering Rebecca Park's cellular device and where her body was discovered. On November 25th, 2025, on several occasions on Monday, November 3rd, 2025.
Ah, so that means his phone was pinging in the area her body was discovered. Jeez. That's not good.
In the evening hours. These records take place after the records obtained from Rebecca Park's phone and network demonstrate her arriving in the area of 30S21 R&D, November 3, 2025, shortly after 1900, Cellbrite extraction location at the residence of 30S21 R&D at 1916. Additionally, records from Rebecca Park's phone extraction show locations consistent with the reported location of recovery of the device. A search warrant was served on Verizon for Cortney Bartholomew's known telephone phone number 23142928895. The records that were produced pursuant to the search warrant show Cortney Bartholomew in the area of 30S21 R&D, and both Bradly and Cortney's records show them in communication with one another shortly after her arrival with Rebecca Park at 30S21 R&D. Additionally, Cortney Bartholomew's phone record.
You guys hear that weird sound that goes? That's just something that weird audio thing makes. Oh, it was girl code. Okay. I just couldn't tell. I'm a guy, so I wasn't able to tell what you guys are saying. But hey, if you guys are out there and you help support the channel, we're still, need to try to get to, I think we need to get another 10 or so memberships, and then I can donate 5 myself. Now you should be able to hear it because I just played it. It goes in the background. It's part of the audio file.
It's 21.5 RD. Additionally, Cortney.
Yeah, that right there goes. Can you hear that in the background? Just that little weird sound. Watch.
21.5 RD. Additionally, Cortney Bartholomew's phone records have activity
Right there. Didn't you hear that?
consistent with her interview statements that she traveled to pick up Rebecca Park up at Richard Failer's residence.
Anyways, I go. It's hard to. Bradly Bartholomew call detail records show the following calls of investigative interest. Let me go up to this one. A search warrant was served on Verizon for Cortney Bartholomew's known telephone number. The records that were produced pursuant to the search warrant show Cortney Bartholomew in the area of her own residence, and both Bradly and Cortney records show them in communication with one another shortly after her arrival with Rebecca Park at the same residence. Additionally, Cortney Bartholomew's phone records have activity consistent with her interview statement that she traveled to pick up Rebecca Park at Richard Fowler's residence at 1531 North 41st and a half Road, then transporting to her house at 30 South 21 and a half Road. Bradly Bartholomew's call record show the following calls of investigative interest. At 6:12, a 2-minute and 2-second outgoing call from Bradly to Cortney. At 7:29 and 57 seconds, or whatever, let's see, we do it again. At 7:29 and 55 seconds, a 57-second call from Bradly to Cortney, and at 7:33, a 54-second call from Bradly to Cortney. At the time of the call, at 6:12:56, device network records show that Brad and Cortney's devices near the area of 30 South 21st and a half. So he lied. He was there. He said he wasn't there. And now his phone is right there. And but he said he let Cortney borrow his phone because hers was dying. And but it was a phone call, so that's bullshit. It's right there. That means he's talking on the phone to her, and the phone's there. This precedes the activity of Rebecca's device coming into the area of 30 South 21st and a half Road. Affiants are aware that the calls at 7:29 and 7:33 again show Brad and Cortney's device in the area near 30 South 21 and a half Road. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. After Rebecca's device records show her arrival in the same area. Let me read that again. So you gotta always have. You just have to understand everything. It's like. Let's see. This precedes the activity of Rebecca's device coming into the area. At the time of the call at 6:12, device network records show Brad and Cortney's device near the area of 30 South 21 and a half Road, and this precedes the activity of Rebecca's device coming into the area. So that means they were talking. Oh, okay, she's coming. Wow, thanks, Chris O'Connell. Yeah, so that sounds like they're communicating that she's coming. Affiant is aware. The calls at 7:29 and 7:33 again show Brad and Cortney's devices in the area of South 21 and a half Road after Rebecca's device records show her arrival in the same area. Yeah, so why are they talking on the phone after her phone, like she gets there? Why is Brad, and so maybe Brad is waiting somewhere in ambush or something. Brad and Courtney's device in the area of 30 South 2.5 Road. After Rebecca's device, records show her arrival in the same area. An autopsy was conducted at Western Michigan University by Dr. Christine James and was attended by Deputy Alexis Howard. There were 6 sharp force wounds, two Park's back, right? Is that what you mean to say? It just says there's 6 sharp force wounds Park's back. I think it means 2 Park's back. 2 to the right upper arm, 1 to the left trapezius area, 2 to the neck, and at least 2 to the face. The right side of the face also had a laceration and an irregular wound to the cheek of unknown etiology. The wounds to the neck are described as superficial and do not penetrate muscle or harm any vascular. Wow, that sounds like they intentionally inflicted those carefully. And most of the wounds to that's probably the torture they were talking about. Most of the wounds to the torso are contained in soft tissue. 1 to the back enters the left pleural space but misses the lung. One to the right side of the back enters the right pleural space and does penetrate the right upper ling lobe and caused a large pneumothorax. All major vessels are intact. Rebecca Park's abdomen had incised wounds. The placenta was hanging from the open abdominal wound with attached umbilical cord, and the fetus was absent. The abdomen incision transcended the colon and the small bowel. I mean, what a disgusting... These people are sick. Rebecca Park... Hey, thanks, Bruce Holdaway. Rebecca Park's abdomen had incised wounds. The placenta was hanging from the open abdominal wound with attached umbilical... Dr. James reported that Rebecca Park's stomach contained copious amounts of a blue-green chalky residue. What's that? There was also a thin film of subdural blood over the left cerebral hemisphere with focal subdural on the right parietal area. However, there was no subscapular or subgaleal hemorrhage. That's sort of weird. Like, how did she get that blood in there? Nor skull fracture is noticed. Maybe she already had that. That's weird. That's probably what they're going to use in court. Say, well, she died. We didn't know what she died from. And then we went nuts. I mean, what about the stab wounds to the arms, You could make an argument. Oh, we tried to save the baby, but you stabbed her arms, The OA joint had marked laxity, but a posterior neck dissection showed no soft... This is crazy that they have the autopsy information in this. On Sunday, November 30th, 2025, a second search warrant was obtained for Bradley and Courtney Bartholomew. Their residence at 30 South 21st and a half Road. Search warrants to seize the 2007 Ford Escape 4-door SUV, red in color with a VIN they gave, and a temporary Michigan registration plate. Okay, the search warrants were served on Sunday, November 30th, 2025. Sergeant Hackman conducted a recorded interview with Bradley Bartholomew. Bradley was put on notice that Rebecca's death is a homicide and that this is a homicide investigation and that there can't be any more lies. Bradley was read his Miranda rights from Wexford County Miranda warning card. He confirmed his understanding of the rights explained to him, and he agreed to speak with the detectives at the time. Bradley reported his knowledge that Cortney went to get Rebecca. They came to the house to get Tide Pods, and they were supposed to get ice cream. Bradley said that he was at the house with Bentley. He admitted that he lied during his first interview about being at the residence. Remember, he said he was near the fish hatchery because of his sex offender registry. That's why he said he lied. Bradley is told that SOR violations are small in comparison to a homicide, and he says that at the time he didn't know this was a homicide. He reported that Cortney had backed out of the driveway in his Ford Escape, and then she came back. She said that at the time he had no idea where Rebecca was. He said that he knew Cortney left with the white Ford and then came back. He reported that Cortney had told him that she and Rich Fowler were in the white Ford and they had a disagreement. Reported that Cortney had told him that she and Fowler, they had a disagreement. There was blood on the dash. Disagreement, and there was blood on the dash. Cortney asked Bradley to clean it up, which he reported that he went out and wiped it down. He said that he didn't see any blood on the floor or on the seats, just blood spattered on the dash. He described that later there was white paint on the seats, and Cortney asked him to remove the seat covers, which he confirmed he did. He said he was unsure what she did with them, if they were thrown in the burn barrel or in the trash. Hey, we got to get 3 more of those, you guys. Next, he said that Cortney was talking to him about how she and Rich did something horrible, but she wouldn't tell him. Next, he said that Cortney was talking to him and so about how her and Fowler did something horrible. Bradley reported that Cortney threatened that if he said anything, she'd make his life hell. Bradley identified that Cortney tried to stab him with scissors in the past and charged with assault, but the case was dismissed. Bradley clarified that Cortney had told him about the something bad happening 5 to 6 days after Rebecca was missing, but he claimed he wasn't sure what bad thing had been done was. When asked about the story about the baby in the NICU at DeVos, Bradley identified that she was supposedly adopting a baby, but he didn't know how she could do his, didn't know how she could do his status on a SOR. Didn't see how she could, there should be a comma there, due to his status as SOR. I think there should be. I don't know. I'm not really the greatest at that myself. Bradley said that Cortney was alone when she got into the white Ford and left north-south 21.5 road, and that she returned approximately 15 minutes later. She stated that she had sent a text to Cortney. What? Oh, he stated that he had sent a text to Cortney to see if she needed him to come outside for anything, and she responded in the affirmative. It was now that he said that Cortney reported getting into a fight with Rich. Bradley said he never observed Rich on this date and that he did not observe any injury to Cortney. Returning to the something bad topic, Bradley was asked to continue that topic. He identified that Cortney is all over TikTok. Yeah, I mean, she was doing interviews all over the place. And that Kimberly was over to use Escape to deliver newspapers. What does that even mean? Kimberly was over to use Escape to deliver, the car, to deliver newspapers. He confirmed that Kimberly left personal items in the Escape and identified she did all the time. When Lieutenant Pisker asked about anything else that Bradley wanted known before drilling down questions began. He said that Cortney was constantly talking to Rich. He agreed that she was also constantly talking to Kimberly. He reported he can't hear the conversations as they are all talking, or they are all taking place by text. He only knows it's them because he sees their names on her phone. Bradley is then confronted with records from carriers, specifically T-Mobile and Verizon. He was asked about Cortney's phone that she had previously said was no longer going to have service, right? Yeah, that was why he said that Cortney supposedly had his phone. Bradley identified that she had service restored, but was aware that she had conducted a factory reset on the phone. Oh boy, here we go again. Insert Keegan Klein, huh? Let's see. She did a factory reset. He was notified that a factory reset does not prevent access to records that are maintained by the carrier. Bradley crying after hearing that. I'm just kidding, he doesn't say that. That's crazy. All right, guys, we need 3 more. We need 3 more channel memberships, and then I'll give 5, all right? Can we do it, man? Can we do it? All right, I'm going to have it read this for a little bit. We're coming up with that 18,000 in a second. Huh. Yeah. How about he passes? These as simple calls. Okay, yeah, there we go. Right there.
Bradley said that he had Cortney's phone on Monday, November 2025. It is pointed out that there are phone calls between both the phone he uses and the one that Cortney uses while Rebecca is at the house. He passes these as simple calls, checking on her comings and goings. He reports that he hasn't driven the truck since he parked it and that it only had enough gas to get to the gas station. A Lieutenant Piskor confronted Bradley's statement about the blood in the truck, confirming his knowledge that the truck has been seized, identifying, if there is any blood of Rebecca found in the truck, there will be a big problem. Bradley is confronted if he thought Cortney had been lying to him about what went on, and he says he does. He suggests he can't see Cortney and Rich being together like that as they haven't talked in over 2 years. Bradley confirmed that there are no $18,000 checks. He did not know why Cortney sent images of the checks. He did say that he spoke with Kimberly on Saturday, November 1st, 2025, after their dinner that night had ended. He said she was asking about the 2 tracks behind the house. He denied that Kimberly told him that she needed to get Rebecca out of the picture. He identified that Kimberly had said this to Rich Fisher, who he identified as Cortney's cousin. Sergeant Hackman confronted that this is not what Rich Fisher told him when he interviewed him personally. Bradley reported that Kimberly is jealous of Rebecca and that he is aware that Kimberly has had a relationship with Rich in the past. Bradley reported being upset when Kimberly was on the internet.
So Cortney, Kimberly, and Rebecca have all had a relationship with Rich. This guy right here. I mean, is this guy Brad Pitt or something? I mean, my God, people.
Saying that he and Cortney were responsible, making a statement that he doesn't understand how anyone could do that to a pregnant woman. He answered that he believes that Cortney and Rich would be capable of doing something such as this. When asked for what purpose, he gave different possibilities. Bradley agreed that he believes that Cortney is capable of slicing open her own flesh and blood and taking a baby out. He agreed that Cortney is obsessed with wanting another baby in her care and custody. He also agreed that it was a good possibility she could attack Rebecca and cut a baby out of her. A Lieutenant Piskor asked if he remembered the Sunday that Rebecca was in the hospital. Cortney saying, "We're texting. Don't you?"
Wait, what is that part? Bradley agreed that he believes that Cortney is capable of slicing open her own flesh and blood and taking a baby out. He agreed that Cortney is obsessed with wanting another baby in her care and custody. Wow. He also agreed, so is that what it, but whose baby? He also agreed that it was a good possibility she could attack Rebecca and cut a baby out of her. Wow, that's kind of weird. It sounds like Bradley. I mean, why do they have him charged so much? What happened, Jessica? What happened? You got blocked because you sound like an idiot, and I'm going to block you again, Pennywise. If you make another one of your comments, either watch the show and comment about what we're talking about, or get the hell out of here. I'm sick of people like you showing up to my shows, try to make it about themselves. You cry like little babies every 5 seconds. If you don't want to contribute, get the hell out of here. Okay, Pennywise? If your next reply isn't something just randomly about the case, you're going to be removed permanently from the channel. All right? Okay, great. Because this channel is not a democracy. This is literally my channel, and I run it the way I feel like it. And your continual barrage of pretending that people are doing something to you with your idiotic thumbnail, by the way, is bullshit. So just relax, watch the show if you're interested. Great. If you're not, don't ever watch again. Thank you very much. Good Lord, people. It's wild. And that being said, you guys, we need 3 more channel memberships to combat the troll nut jobs. Thank you very much. Oh, there's one right there. Look at that. Of course, it's Chris O'Connell. Thank you. Thank you. That's so weird. So Bradley is throwing under the bus Cortney. So why has he been charged with such a huge, you know, like first-degree murder and everything? There must be way more to it. I mean, we're on page 7 of 18, for God's sake. Or page 8. Hey, thanks, Tamsters. And here we go. God, have you ever seen, it's just these people, like Karens. It's just wild, you know, little crybaby. You know, the other day, you know, I'm going to tell you something. Listen to this. I told it the other day, but I'm going to tell it again. I was doing a walk. I try to walk like 4 miles a day sometimes, right? Most of the time. And I was walking, and I was eating an apple, a Honey Crisp, by the way. And I was all the way down to the core when I made it to the street. And this lady was about 150 yards up the road. And I chucked the core into the ditch on the side of the road. You know, just a crappy, muddy ditch. And then I walked down there, and she's just sort of watching me, waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then I show up, and she goes, what'd you throw over there? And I go, it was an apple. And she goes, oh, I thought you were littering or something. And I go, hey, this is why people are called Karens. And then I kept walking. You know, unfortunately for people named Karen, but that's exactly what that is. Like, you literally waited for me to walk 150 yards so you could, you know, question me on what I threw into the... Just ridiculous people out there. You know what I mean? It's like, just get over God, you guys are sick people. I mean, what happened to, you know, it's always people that are about like 40 right now, you know, like 45, kind of grew up in that different time frame, you know, just... Gray, I'm 45, how dare you? Well, I wasn't talking to you unless you're a Karen, right? Yeah, that was wild, man. Hey, thanks, Forgetful Mandy. Hey, at least some people like the way I am, you know? At least a few. Anyways, let's see. Lieutenant Pisker asked if he remembered the Sunday that Rebecca was in the hospital. He asked Bradley that. Cortney... let's see. Yeah. Pisker asked if he remembered the Sunday that Rebecca was in the hospital. Cortney saying or texting, "Don't you dare have this baby in the hospital." Oh, wow, that's crazy, because then she couldn't steal it and prove that it was. Wow. And Bradley remembers somebody saying it, but not who was saying it. Bradley confirmed going to Fowler's house on Saturday to take the gifts to Rebecca that Cortney forgot to give her at the house earlier that day. What was it? A drink that had some green powder in it? While discussing being upset that Kimberly had accused him of being involved, Lieutenant Pixer asked why he hadn't called him, and Bradley said that Cortney had threatened him that she didn't want him involved. His explanation was that he doesn't want to get incriminated or himself incriminated. Bradley began to say that he thinks that Cortney has more to do with this than what she wants to claim. He said all the evidence is pointing to her. He suggests that he believes all the evidence would be in the white Ford. The blood he observed inside the truck is discussed and described. Bradley said that he removed the original seat covers now this is sort of like that fructose. Remember that one? The fructose case. Photos doulos, in other words. Bradley said that he removed the original seat covering about a week and a half after Rebecca went missing because it had got white paint on it. When asked what he thought happened, Bradley responded he thought Cortney was jealous of Rebecca. He agrees that Cortney would like to have another child. He also thinks that Rich wants to get back in a relationship with Cortney. Jesus. See, I don't know whose baby it is, but it's all sort of the same thing, It's crazy. Bradley agrees that he thinks that Cortney could point the finger at him as being responsible when we interviewed him. When Bradley is confronted with Cortney being I think Cortney is the ringleader here, and I wouldn't be surprised if, like, Brad, I don't know, we'll have to see. I mean, I'm just basing it on what we've read so far. Bradley agrees that he thinks that Cortney could point the finger at him as being responsible when we interviewed him. When Bradley is confronted with Cortney being in possession of the cellular device with the 231 phone number, his phone number, when she went to pick up Rebecca, he claims he can't say she possessed it, but it was there at the house. I don't remember which one was the 231 phone number. I mean, they're all 231, but 550. Let me search for that again. We're on page 8. Conducted a recorded interview with Bradly Bartholomew. He confirmed his cellular telephone number as 231-550-9134. Okay, so there you go. That's it. That's his. So let's read that again, knowing that's his phone. So when Bradley is confronted with Cortney being in possession of his phone when she went to pick up Rebecca, he claims he can't say she possessed it, but it was there at the house and he had it to call her. He then confirms that Cortney did not have that phone when she went to Fowler's to pick up Rebecca. He reported she got the phone when she came back from getting the white Ford. Lieutenant Pisker asked Bradley what else he wanted us to know about, and he told us that Cortney has scalpels in her bedside stand. Jesus. Hey, put a 1 if you're a guy in the chat and you would go to sleep with a woman who had scalpels in her nightstand. Wow. Hey, do you have scalpels in your stand? Nope. Okay, I'm not staying here tonight then. You need to have scalpels in your stand or I'm not going to sleep here. Jesus, that's crazy. You gotta be kidding me. Oh my God. He wanted us to know about, and he told us that Cortney has scalpels in her bedside stand, describing them as disposable scalpels for lancing cellulitis. What? Bradley doesn't remember going anywhere on the morning of Tuesday, November 4th, 2025, other than to Fowler's to give him Rebecca's phone. Bradley confirmed that he had come to the hospital on Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, to bring Cortney her wheelchair, and that, let's see, Bradley confirmed that he had come to the hospital on November 2nd to bring Cortney her wheelchair and that he was driving the white Ford pickup truck while Cortney was there with the Ford Escape. He did not ride back to Manton with Cortney when she drove Rebecca and Richard home. Bradley begins to show some emotion about the possible outcome of this investigation. Bradley is given a break at this point in the interview. On Sunday, November 30th, 2025, Sergeant Voss conducted a recorded interview with Cortney Bartholomew. Cortney was read her Miranda rights from a Wexford County Miranda warning card. She confirmed her understanding. I think what's going on right now is the two principals, Brad and Cortney, are blaming each other, and they're still trying to figure out. So they're both being charged, and they're trying to figure out like which direction. It feels more. Doesn't it feel like Cortney is the one here? She's the one that wanted another baby. I think she used the $18,000 to sort of lure Rebecca. And just a lot of that weird, creepy stuff about the baby. I don't know. But why would Fowler, so Fowler, why would he be interested in any of that? Or Kimberly? All right, I think this will be pretty interesting here because now this is Cortney in a much more severe circumstance than it was before. Cortney was read her Miranda rights from Wexford County Miranda warning card. She confirmed her understanding of the rights explained to her, and she agreed to speak with the detectives at the time. Cortney identified at the dinner. Have you guys ever seen a probable cause like this one? This one's crazy. Yeah, quit writing in caps, Pennywise. You get one more shot, okay? Yeah, your comments aren't that interesting. I know that's why you're putting them in caps, though. Let's see. Which part are you guys saying never to? What did I say? Oh, you ever seen it? Well, yeah, it's great. The probable cause, right? Cortney was read her Miranda rights from a Wexford County Miranda warning card. She confirmed her understanding of the rights explained to her, and she agreed to speak with the detectives at the time. Cortney identified that at the dinner at her house on Saturday, November 1st, 2025, it was herself, Rebecca, Kimberly, Bentley, and so Kimberly, Bentley is that younger kid, right? And that Brad was hiding in the truck. Wow. So she's saying Brad was laying in wait in ambush in the truck. Lieutenant Pisker notified Cortney that this is a homicide investigation and the lies must stop, and if she lies, more charges can be brought. Cortney reported that Bradley is hiding in the truck because the girls won't come in if he's around because they don't like him because of his sex offender registry status. She reported that the dinner ended. I don't know if that's what it is, but he has criminal record. I know that the other guy does, Fowler. She reported that the dinner ended at 7 to 7:30. The next thing that happened was she called Rebecca about the items she forgot to get her and that she and Bradley went to Fowler's to drop the items off. At the time, they were in the Ford Escape. On Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, she was supposed to pick Rebecca up and waited around until about 6:30, and Rebecca called to say she was on her way to the hospital. She described the events at the hospital as she had previously. Bradley brought Cortney her wheelchair to the hospital. Bradley was driving the white Ford F-150, and she explained how he stopped at the Miser gas station to get gas. Let's see where that is. Where the hell is that? Oh, there's Cadillac. So probably right there. It's the only one with the name. Yeah. All right, you guys, say no to lols. Say no to lols. We're still trying to make up for a couple of these other nights we had. All right. Let's see. You're not having a good night, Pennywise. That name sure as hell doesn't fit you, I can tell you that. To get gas for, or I guess it does, Penny. Yeah, you're a Pennywise. Let's see. Courtney wanted to know if Bradley could hear her. Okay. Bradley was driving the white Ford F-150, and she explained how he stopped at the Miser gas station to get gas for the truck while she drove Rebecca and Richard home. Courtney wanted to know if Bradley could hear her, and she was told he could not. What does that mean? What are you talking about? Okay, she was supposed to pick up Rebecca up and waited around until about 6:30, and Rebecca called to say she was on her way to the hospital. She described, okay, that was to get, remember they were supposed to get the milkshakes, but then she goes, oh, I got to go to the hospital. She described the events at the hospital as she had previously. Bradley brought Courtney her wheelchair. So Courtney's in a wheelchair? I don't really get it. Or brought the wheelchair, her wheelchair for Rebecca to use or something. Bradley was driving the white Ford F-150, and Courtney explained how he stopped at the Miser gas station to get gas for the truck while she drove Rebecca and Richard home. Courtney wanted to know if Bradley could hear her, and she was told he could not. Oh, you mean while you're sitting there? Okay. What a stupid... You guys, come on. I mean, whoever wrote this thing, you know, that's such a stupid aside to put in there. Say it like this. Courtney was concerned that Bradley could hear our conversation, and we told her she could not. Can you believe that shit? I mean, my God. Courtney wanted to know if Bradley could hear what she's saying right now, and we said you could not. I mean, what a weird sort of place to just throw that line in there. She reported talking to Rebecca Sunday night about getting shakes on Monday. She said that Rebecca asked her about the $2,000 and said that Rich was upset about something. She was wondering if, like, Bradley was in another room through the glass listening. Yeah. I mean, it's just crazy, man. Okay, so she reported talking to Rebecca, the victim, Sunday night about getting shakes on Monday. So Sunday must be the 1st. She said that Rebecca asked her about the $2,000. And Rich was upset about something. Courtney confirmed the trip to Fowler's house on Saturday after the dinner to drop the items off for Rebecca. When Lieutenant Pisker asked Cortney why she wanted to know if Bradley could hear her, she suggested the need to back up, saying she thinks she needs immunity. Lieutenant Pisker notified Cortney that the prosecutor is the person who can give immunity. Cortney suggests we get the well, she's the one that it seemed like she wanted the baby and everything. Yeah. This is sort of like that other case that we covered a long time ago, and that lady. Well, there's two of them. The one where the lady cut the baby out of that Hispanic girl because she wanted a baby, and then the one where the lady killed a woman who had a newborn baby and took that baby. What a weird thing to do, right? Cortney suggests we get the prosecutors here. Lieutenant Pisker says she will want to know what she has. Cortney said she will give us where the knife is and where the baby is, that she will give it all to us. Lieutenant Pisker confronts Cortney that she still has guilty knowledge. She responded that she has been threatened, her child has been threatened, her home has been threatened, and she is done. Cortney renews her request for immunity and then asks for witness protection. Lieutenant Pisker asks Cortney if the baby is alive. She shakes her head in the negative. Sergeant Voss asks Cortney about her prior statement that Bradley hides in the truck. He asked her while he hides, and she identified, and he asked her where he hides, and she identifies in the cab. She described it as a single cab truck, and he lays on the seat. Cortney responded that Bradley had put $15 worth of gas in the truck when he was at Miser on Sunday night. Cortney asked if Bradley confessed, and Dr. Sergeant Voss reported he told us a lot of stuff. Let me go look at this. I wonder if I don't know if that looks like an SUV kind of, or that could be a pickup, I guess. What do you guys think? This street view is, what year is that? That's August 2024. But that looks like that could be the white pickup truck over here. This thing. It just, yeah, that's what this is. Okay, it was kind of odd looking when I looked at it like this. See how it looks really long, like a bus almost? But that's just some weird artifact. There it is. That's the Ford F-150 right there. Bet you money that that's exactly what that is. Isn't that weird when you can see stuff like that in cases? There we go. All right. So Cortney asked if Bradley confessed, and Sergeant Voss reported he told us a lot of stuff. Cortney confirmed that Bradley is using the phone with the number 550 on her phone is 429. She confirms that she had 429 phone on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday that Rebecca disappeared. She said her phone was taken on Monday night and she was told to go back in the house. Cortney said her phone was taken at about 8:30. She renewed her request to contact the prosecutor. Sergeant Voss again told her, we need to know what she knows to take it to the prosecutor. When he suggests an example that she will even tell us where the baby is, she interrupts and says, in the garbage in a blue cooler. When asked where she reported, in the GFL, Cortney says, he said he put him in a black bag. The cooler's gone. The cooler is Brad's work cooler, adding he put him inside the cooler and drove him up and down the road looking for a, what's a GFL? A good, I don't know. That wasn't mine. Was looking for a GFL that wasn't mine. Is that a car type, or I mean, what is that? I don't even know. Page 10. In the GFL. I guess that might be a car. Thank you, Richard Watts. You have an unfortunate last name, but other than that, you're fine. Okay. When Sergeant Voss asked why Cortney reported that it was related to Bradley going to jail last year, when Fowler turned him in, she explained. Okay, when Voss asked why Cortney reported that it was related to Bradley, what are you talking about? Going to jail last year, when Fowler turned him in, she explained that is all retaliation. See, well, this doesn't even make sense. Like, doesn't fit with the last comment. What was related? She identified the night when they went home. I guess I could put this over here. After their last interviews, she confronted him about his examination and his failure. Sergeant Voss asked Cortney which vehicle he used to get rid of the body, and she identified her white truck. She is then asked how he got her in a position to kill her. She explained how she pulled into the driveway. She had notified him she was on their road. She explained that she got to the house and talked to Rebecca for a few minutes, and Bradley walked up and pulled her out and said, "I want to talk to you." Cortney described that the white truck was sitting out by the road and explained that she didn't think anything of it. You know, Brad was supposed to be her stepdad. Cortney wanted to know where they were going, and Brad told her to take her ass in the house and don't worry about it. She said she went into the house because she didn't think he would hurt her. That's why he went into the house? Okay. Bradley is reported to have returned to the house at 10:30 and told her that he had taken Rebecca home. Cortney confronted him that he had not, and he told her he had, and that she would call her in the morning. Cortney asked him for, Cortney asked for her phone, which she reported he told her was out in the shed, and he went out to get it. I don't understand. How does the phone all of a sudden... This is so, like, discombobulated. She said when he came back in the house, he said, yeah, she didn't go home, instead telling Cortney that he took her to a house, but when she asked him to take her there, he just told her that Rebecca said to him that she didn't want anything to do with her. Yeah, this is all made up shit. That's why it sounds so stupid. Yeah, obviously none of this is true because Cortney is actually the one that wanted to have the baby. Cortney reported calling Rich to tell him to call her back as soon as possible, and that while Brad was watching her, she told Rich, that dude your old lady left with some guy, or Bradley would backhand her. What? Cortney reported calling Rich to tell him to call her back as soon as possible, and that while Brad was watching her, she told Rich that, dude, your old lady left with some guy, or Bradley would backhand her. What in the hell does that even mean, that last sentence? What does that have to do with anything? And Bradley would backhand her. For what? Yeah, you guys see what I'm saying? Like, whoever wrote this thing isn't very good at this, you know. Cortney confirmed for Dr. Pisker that the story about the black car was made up and never happened, right? Asking her to continue, she reported Kimberly sending her coordinates to Rebecca's phone and asking Bradley why her daughter's phone would be across the road, and her response was, I don't effing know. She asked Bradley to take her to the phone and said he took her right to it. He said that phone was exactly where the coordinates is. She said it was out in the open, and it appeared that someone had just set it down. That's exactly what I was thinking earlier, that they just put it there. They took the phone directly to Rich's, but before their arrival, she said that Bradley told her, "I'm telling you right effing now, do not say a effing word." Kimberly got the phone from Rich, and Cortney reported that Kimberly had called her. Let's see. Kimberly got the phone from Rich. The sister got the phone from Rich, the fiance of Rebecca. And Cortney reported that Kimberly had called her and said she was taking the phone to the cops. She said Kimberly called her at 9 p.m. on Tuesday night to tell her this. When asked to continue, Cortney identified that in her second to last drawer in the bedstand, she has a razor knives that she uses to nick open her cellulite so they will drain. She reported that one was gone, which she said she knew because she counted them due to a teenage boy living in her house. I don't know. That sounds ludicrous. Cortney agreed the knives are like scalpels. When she confronted Bradley about the missing knife, she answered he didn't say anything then. And then Lieutenant Pisker confronted her that her use of the word them means he must have said something later, and she reported it was after her body was found. All right, you guys, let's keep the energy going in here tonight. If you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be great. I still got 7 more pages. Ugh. Cortney said she kept asking Bradley where her daughter was, saying he answered, "You'll find out soon." Cortney said she kept asking Bradley where her daughter was, saying he answered, "You'll find out soon." She goes on the report that after returning from his last interview, he told her about Kimmy, was asking about woods behind the house to go trail riding. Cortney said that Kimberly will not talk to Bradley ever alone. She reported trying to get Rich Fisher to take Kimberly's bag to her. I don't know who Rich Fisher is. There's another Rich. Fowler? There's 2 Rich F's? You mean Fallon? She reported trying to get Rich Fisher to take Kimberly's bag to her. She said that Bradley said, "You can't have that. You're not taking her bag," he said. Today, he said, "Nobody's taking this bag." Cortney said she realized Kimberly's wallet was in the bag, questioning why he would want her wallet. Man, I think whoever wrote this probable cause was stoned or something. You know, all this frivolous shit here. I mean, it's great that we get to hear what they said, but it's like it doesn't need to be in here. I think you just bring up, like, I mean, this is like the trial, 19-page, this is crazy. Pisker confronted Cortney that he had asked her for Kimberly's property. Pisker confronted Cortney that he had asked for Kimberly's property while she was at the sheriff's office on Tuesday and that she refused. She explained that she was told not to, suggesting she didn't want to get her ass beat. She reported that on Tuesday, November 25th, 2025, in the morning, Bradley took the truck and went west on West 26th Road and was gone for about 20 minutes. She said when Bradley came back, she asked him if he had hurt her daughter, and he told her, "No, I didn't hurt her." Cortney said that was the same day Rebecca's body was found. Cortney said that on Wednesday, November 26, 2025, in the morning, she confronted Bradley and asked him what he did. She reported he told her, "I'm going to tell you once, and I'm going to tell you, and you're going to effing drop it, and you're going to shut the F up." He's like, I'm the reason your effing daughter's not here, that your life is upside down right now. When she asked him why, she said, Bradley said, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Thank you, Wild Bill Wassman. When she asked him why, she said, Bradley said, Rich effed up with the wrong mother effer. She agrees this is all a revenge plot. Cortney said that when she asked him what he did to her daughter, Bradley said, "I slit her effing throat. Bitch deserved it." She goes on to say that he said Rich deserved it too, and it just happened to be your daughter's that's going to pay for it. Cortney said when she asked about the grandson, she said Bradley said, "Oh, I stuck him in a cooler, stuck him in a trash bag, threw him in the trash." Dr. Pisker asked Cortney that if Bradley is paying Rich back, why cut the baby out? And she said because if he would have left the baby in there and had somebody found her before, he would have survived. He would have survived, he would have thought. Cortney was asked why not just cut the baby out and kill it? Why take it? And she said that he told her the baby wasn't breathing. Yeah, see, she wanted to keep that baby. That's what he's trying to get at. Cortney was asked, why not just cut the baby out and kill it? Why take it? And she said he told her the baby wasn't breathing when he pulled him out. That's to try to avoid, like, oh, we didn't kill it. Again, she was asked why he'd take it. Now she answers it with because he didn't want Rich to see they were together. Oh, so now we're getting to what I was saying. Is this right here, the part where it's saying that Brad was with Rebecca at some point? Let me see. Is that what this is saying? Again, she was asked, why did he take it? Now she answers it because he didn't want Rich to see they were together. Like, who's they? Rebecca and her, or, Rebecca and Bradley, or Cortney and Bradley? Again, he was asked, why did you take it? Why did he take it? So, like, Cortney's being asked, why did Bradley take the baby? And Cortney answered, it was because he didn't want Rich to see they were together. I don't know. What does that mean? She admitted she didn't know what that meant. Okay. Well, I don't either. Okay, I don't either. I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. When asked about where the baby is now, Cortney said he put him in a blue cooler in a trash bag and into a GFL container. She confirmed that she is talking about a residential GFL trash receptacle. I guess that's what that is. Cortney said she was never at the location where the body was found because he wouldn't let her. She doesn't know how many times he went to the location. When asked if she was killed at the location she was found or at the end of the driveway, she answers that she doesn't know, but said it wasn't in her driveway because he pulled away quickly with her. Cortney said that he walked out of his truck and not the house to get her out of the truck. What? Confirming that it was from the escape and into the F-150. When Lieutenant Pisker reminded Cortney that she knew where the knife was at, she said he threw it in a dumpster at Cadillac Shores. When asked when he had done that, she first announced that it was her hunting knife. She said it was probably like a week after that the knife was put in the dumpster. She did not know what happened to the disposable scalpel, adding she had no clue and wished she knew. You guys got to continue on with the $2 holler up there. That was working. It could have been pretty good. We need to make up. We had a couple nights this month that were so low that about the only way to get back is to have some decent nights here. And don't I deserve super chats, you guys, from reading this whole damn document so far? Let's see. Courtney said that he walked... Okay, we already did that part. Voss asked Courtney what she was looking for in the immunity agreement, what she was afraid of, and then confronted her that she had provided a lot of misinformation to the police. She reassured us that she would cooperate the whole way. Lieutenant Pisker pointed out her obstruction of investigation, and she agrees. Hey, thanks, Lisa. When asked about the seat covers, Cortney and Bradley burned them. She also said that Bradley went out and cleaned the truck, specifically mentioning the trash. She described that the cloth was burned and the bucket was taken back into the house. Courtney didn't think the floor in the truck was clean. Courtney was asked about the Kimmy stuff, and she suggested that Kimberly doesn't know anything. She was just trying to feel important. Sergeant Voss confronted Courtney that she was the person who told us recently that Kimberly was in the black car. She reported that Bradley came up with the story about Kimberly. Courtney said she knew... Why did Bradley do this? See, that's just the whole thing. It doesn't make sense. Courtney said she knew that Kimberly told us... Voss confronted Courtney that she was the person who told us recently that Kimberly was in the black car. She reported that Bradley came up with the story. Courtney said she knew that Kimberly told us that she hit her and hid the body. When asked how she knows that Kimberly told us this, Courtney said that she told Ashley and reported Ashley is Rich's baby mama. So there's another person. Ashley Croas has a child with Richard Fowler. Jesus, what in the hell's going on here? Hey, thanks, C. Daly and Cuddle Monster Mom. First on our live stream. Very cool, very cool. Thank you. Jesus, this is crazy. Courtney said that all that Kimberly did was lie to the police and had no involvement. She also said that Rich Fowler was also not involved, but did say she didn't know if he deleted anything from Rebecca's phone or not. Lieutenant Pisker asked about a text message about not allowing anyone from the state of Michigan on her property, and Rebecca saying they should talk about that, so she is clear on what that means. Courtney denied sending such a message. Sergeant Voss asked when she first learned what had actually happened, and she did it and said, happened, and she said it was after her body was found. Lieutenant Pisker then pointed out she could have covered herself if she had cooperated on Monday at Mount Pleasant. Sergeant Voss asked how Bradley told her how he killed Rebecca, and she said he told me that he slit her effing throat. When asked how there was no marks like that on her neck, I don't think. When he asked how she told him that he cut the baby out, she said he had one of my scalpels. She denied that he said how he did that, then said, God, man, this is such shitty. She denied that he said how he did that, then said, he just said that I cut him out. That was it. That was all he said. Sergeant Voss asked about the baby. Hey, thanks, Chris O'Connell. The baby getting cut out, being put in a garbage bag and put into a blue cooler. And what he said about that, she said that he just said he took him, put him in a garbage bag, stuffed him in a cooler, and threw him in a trash dumpster. She knows that it was a specific cooler because his work cooler is gone. She knows the size as a lunchbox size cooler and described it as a soft-sided cooler with hard plastic inside to keep the side supported, and it has a black strap. Cortney reported the garbage bag came from the house, and she knows this because she counts her garbage bags, and she noticed who the hell counts garbage bags? Put a 1 if you count your garbage bags. There isn't a soul in the world to count. Hey, honey, how many garbage bags do we have? Gee, Gray, we've got 7 left. How the hell do you know that? Well, on a daily basis, I count them. And I just used one yesterday when we had 8. Aren't you proud of me, Gray? No. That's a little obsessive, I have to be honest with you. Okay. Hey, thank you, Jason McCowan, for gifting a membership. Very cool. Hey, honey, how many garbage bags do we have? I mean, I listen. I think if any one of you right now, if you yelled out to your spouse, how many garbage bags do we have left? They would think you are a crazy lunatic. Okay? If you said, hey, do we have any more garbage bags? That would be a normal question. But nobody would ask you how many. You do not know how many garbage bags you have, Michelle H. No way. Look at, she's saying me, I do. I mean, sure, you might realize you're running out. But do you pull out the remaining ones and go, okay, like I got 3 left. Now, if we stretch these out, yeah, give me a break. I don't know, just asked and was told heaps. Yeah, but that's normal. That's a normal reply there. If he said 6, divorce them, okay? Wow. That's crazy. Let's see. We reminded Bradley, where is it? The hunting knife is described by Cortney as being green. Oh, yeah, there. This part right here. Let's read that again. Cortney reported the garbage bags came from her house, and she knows this because she counts her garbage bags, and she noticed that 2 of her bags are gone. Now, it means that you're the one that just handed him the 2 bags, and that's how you know. It's not because you count them and then went the next day and counted again and went, wow, we had 14 yesterday and we got 12 today. So therefore, those 2 bags were used by Bradley. That's ridiculous. Okay, anyways. The hunting knife is described by Cortney as being green, having serrated blade on one side and a flat blade on the other side, and his fixed blade, not folding knife. She is sure that Bradley used that knife. That knife was purchased at Walmart within the last year, and she provided a description of it. So they didn't use your scalpel. It was Bradley's new folding knife. When asked if she noticed any items missing out of Kimberly's purse, she said yes, $2.72. And when asked, how did you know that? She said, well, I'm in the habit of going into people's purses and counting the money they have just in case something is spent from the purse, and then I can tell you exactly how many cents are missing and perhaps why. Okay, that doesn't say that. Doesn't say that. So this is so dumb. She is sure that Bradley used. When asked if she noticed any items missing out of Kimberly's purse, she didn't report any. Cortney denied that Bentley knows anything. We took a break and moved Cortney to another room. On Sunday, November 30th, 2025, at 6:27, Sergeant Voss and I began a second recorded interview with Bradly Bartholomew. We reminded Bradley that the rights we discussed earlier still applied, and he agreed he was still good with it. So now they're going to confront him with what Cortney has been saying. Pisker notified Bradley, there you go, that Cortney was putting it all on him. There you go. He broke down details that Cortney had provided. Lieutenant Pisker explained how the investigation has come down to involving himself and Cortney. Right. Okay. I've kind of felt the same way about the two others, Rich and Kimberly. Voss explains it didn't make any sense, those two, unless Kimberly and Rich were sort of in a relationship and didn't want her. But then it's like, well, then why would the parents do anything? So it had to be related to what the parents, like, there's no reason a parent would kill somebody over a dispute at a lower level. You know what I mean? Lieutenant Pisker notified Bradley that Cortney was putting it all on him. He broke down detail. Then it says, Voss explained how we believe it went down and how evidence will support the investigation, and an appeal to Bradley was made that he needed to tell the truth. Bradley is confronted with how much gas he put in the truck when he was at Measure on Sunday after leaving the hospital, and he reported $5. I thought he said $15 before. When asked about information he feels we should know that we haven't already discussed, Bradley reported that he knows his lunch cooler is missing and describes it as being blue and thinks it's an Oregon Trail brand. He said it's big enough to hold 8-pack of pop bottles. His description of the cooler is basically the same as Cortney. He estimates the cooler has been missing for 2.5 weeks. Bradley, let's see. Bradley is not aware of Cortney counting their garbage bags. Bradley is not aware of Cortney counting their garbage bags because of Bentley's use of them. We confront Bradley that she is blaming him for dumping the body and putting the fetus in his lunchbox. It is explained that she is attempting to place the blame on him. Bradley is confronted with the statement he made in his first interview that Rebecca was stabbed. Voss asked him about that statement again and how he knows she was stabbed. Pisker pointed out that both he and Cortney have reported on the scalpel and that you didn't need to make a stabbing motion with the scalpel to slice someone open. It is pointed out that Cortney said he threatened her, including in the parking lot prior to them leaving for their interviews on Monday. It is also shared with him that she identified that it was revenge for Fowler turning him on last year. What? Revenge for Fowler turning, I think it meant to say, on him last year on his SOR violation, to which he responded, that's bullshit. It is explained that what Cortney had said about why the baby was cut out of Rebecca during the revenge murder doesn't make sense. We remind him of the NICU story that her attempts to get custody of Kimberly and Rebecca's children. Bradley begins to tell us, I'm sure Cortney stabbed her because she didn't have a hunting knife. He reported the cause for the knife went into the trash bin and things. My God. He reported the case. That's what it says. For the knife went. He reported the case for the knife went into the trash bin and thinks it might still be in the bin. Man. I don't think the person who wrote this is graduated from, it definitely didn't graduate from college. Bradley begins to tell us, I'm sure Cortney stabbed her because she didn't have a hunting knife. He reported the case for the knife went into the trash bin and thinks it might still be in the bin. He identified that the knife went into the trash at Cadillac Shores. He reports that Cortney is the one who cut the baby out of Rebecca. He confirms that he witnessed this, and it had taken, God, this is like out of the X-Files or something. And it had taken place right where she is laying out in the trails behind the house. He confirmed that is the reason he had told an officer to check the trails behind the house. He reported that he knew Rebecca had a bunch of leaves on her because Cortney buried her in leaves where she was found. All right, you guys, massive lull, massive lull. Bradley confirmed that a scalpel from the bedroom was used. When he was asked if the baby was alive when he was cut out, he responded no. He confirmed that it was just two of them that were present. Voss asked when she stabbed her. Voss asked when she stabbed her, where did she stab her, and Bradley said in the truck. When asked what location on Rebecca's body had Cortney stabbed her, he responded he didn't know, and he jumped out of the truck. Bradley reported that Rebecca had gotten into the white truck voluntarily. He confirmed that the plan to get the Tide Pods was legitimate, and he was unaware that the plan was to stab her. Bradley denied that there was a plan of this while in the pickup. Bradley said he was driving Cortney. While he was in the pickup, Bradley said he was driving. Cortney was in the passenger seat and Rebecca was in the middle. He claimed not to know what Cortney had told Rebecca to get her into the truck. Initially, Bradley was in the house with Bentley, and he said he went outside to get away from everything, so he didn't have to worry about Rebecca coming in. He denied getting a phone call from Cortney that they were in the driveway. When he got outside, Cortney and Rebecca were in the Escape, and Cortney had said she blew out a tire on the Escape, so they got in the truck. From there, they get on the trail to the woods because the truck doesn't have a valid plate. Bradley said that Cortney was mad because Rebecca was always bad-mouthing her and wouldn't give her a chance to be a mom. So you kill her? Bradley confirmed that Cortney wanted the baby for herself. Despite Cortney wanting the baby, Bradley said it was unrealistic to expect that Cortney would be allowed to adopt the baby. All right, I gotta set a goal up in here. Hold on. Yep, there we go. Oh yeah. There we go. All right. I got like a goal for finishing this up. All right, so we've got 14, 15, 16. Yeah, basically 4 more full pages, I would think. Page 14. Yeah, 18's tiny, so. All right, let's see if we can get that goal. I gotta get a water or something. Not even for the no hat, you guys? Come on. It's got to be worth something. Oh. Jeez. And I got 4 more pages, so we're going to need some more energy like that. Did anybody even hear? It said dang when I went to the bathroom. Is anybody here? Hello? Yeah. Well, I got a goal up on the screen up there in the upper left. You guys see that? All right. Bradley described that the actual stabbing began when Cortney just grabbed the knife and started stabbing her. The knife had been down on Cortney's right. He said she stabbed her in the chest as far as he knew, but said he jumped out of the truck when Cortney started swinging, so he wasn't sure. Bradley knew they were on the trails and said he could take officers to the scene. Sergeant Voss asked what point did they realize that Rebecca is dead, and he identified that it was after Cortney cut the baby out of her. Forget it. You guys aren't gonna... Hold on. Forget it. Let's see. Voss asked what point did they realize that Rebecca is dead, and he identified that it was after Cortney cut the baby out of her. He said that Cortney tried CPR on the baby. Right. Bradley said that Rebecca was not in the truck when Cortney cut the baby out of her. He said that Cortney tricked her to get her out of the truck and made her start walking after she had already been stabbed. Rebecca walked behind the truck but is unable to run due to her pregnancy. When Sergeant Voss asked what Cortney did to kill Rebecca, he explained that Cortney had Rebecca lay down as she was still alive, and she cut the baby out of her. What the hell? While she was still alive. Wow. Bradley said she was beside the trail telling Cortney that she doesn't need to do that. That's not right. I don't know. That sounds kind of weird. You're getting a baby cut out of her and couldn't even... I removed the goal, you guys. It seemed like was being ignored. You know, one of my goals that I put up. Bradley said he was beside the trail telling Cortney that she doesn't need to do that. That's not right. They do not have a bag or the cooler that the baby is eventually put in at this time. Hey, thanks, Timberley. We actually have apartments near here called the Timberley Apartments. Bradley said he was beside the trail telling Cortney that she doesn't need to do that. That's not right. Would you? Let me ask you guys something. If you were on the ground and you were pregnant and somebody was stabbing you in the stomach, would you say, that's not right? You know, you don't need to do that. That's not right. I don't think so. Something. They do not have the bag or the cooler that the baby is eventually put in at this time. Now the baby is cut out. Bradley said they just left Rebecca there. He identified that he couldn't tell if she was dead or not. Cortney decided that they should head to the house, and Cortney is holding the baby in her lap, and Bradley drives. I think a lot of this seems like it's probably real, though. This is like a lot of detail there. Bradley said the baby never took a breath, and he never heard the baby cry. It took about 5 minutes to get back to the house. Bradley stated that Cortney took the baby into the house and into the bedroom where she is trying to perform CPR on the baby, which is in a towel on the bed. He also said he tried to perform CPR on the baby by doing chest compressions and breathing into his mouth. Because I think that the goal was to take this baby. That's what I think. Well, thanks, Chris O'Connor. Hey, look at that. That was almost the goal right there if you combine those super chats.
Gray is cool, hatless, and has great patience with poor writing.
Oh, God, this is wild, man. This is crazy shit. Baby never took a breath, and he never heard the baby cry. He took about 5 minutes to get back to the house. Bradley stated that Cortney took the baby into the house and into her bedroom, where she is trying to perform CPR on the baby, which is in a towel on the bed. I mean, that's kind of specific, right? On a towel on the bed, so that sounds legitimate. He also said he tried to perform CPR on the baby by doing chest compressions and breathing into its mouth. He said this went on for about 15 minutes after they arrived at the home. Bradley reported that Cortney went to the kitchen, got a garbage bag. See, I think that's totally true. See, I believe this version here, because that's exactly right. And see, that's why Cortney counted the bags. You know, oh, hey, I counted them. That's how I knew 2 were missing when he took it. No, Cortney, you know that there's missing because you got the bag. Remember I said that a few minutes ago? Cortney knew that they were missing because she's the one that got the bag, and then she wanted to come up with an excuse of why she knew that there were 2 missing, because she always counts her garbage bags, which is a total bullshit story, right? She just wanted to have a reason why she knew 2 were missing. All right, Bradley reported that Cortney went to the kitchen, got a garbage bag, and placed the baby in a garbage bag and went outside with the baby. He identified that the cooler was in the bed of the white truck, and he saw the baby go into the cooler. He explained that the baby went into the cooler because the cooler can be zipped up and it had the baby in it, and dispose of the cooler and not been seen. What? Look at this writing here. Be zipped up and it had the baby in it, and dispose of the cooler and not be seen. Okay, let me try to read that. Zip up and had the baby in it. I see. Let's see. He explained that the baby went into the cooler because the cooler can be zipped up and it had the baby in it, and dispose of the cooler and not be seen. But there's something missing, like a whole part of the sentence that would make that work. Bradley said that the same night he is with Cortney, who is now driving the truck, and they went and disposed of the knife first, and they put the baby in a GFL, I guess the garbage can, tote, at a house north of their residence. There had been some logging done recently. So up here. Well, that's not right. That wasn't right. Like maybe up in here somewhere. That's the only resident north of there. Where the hell was that here? Oh. Bradley said that the same night he is with Cortney, who is now driving the truck, and they went to dispose of the knife first. And they put the baby in the garbage tote at a house north of their residence where there had been some logging done recently. Bradley denied burning the seat covers from the truck and said Cortney burned them. He did say he cleaned inside of the truck using a gray bucket and some bleach and water. See, I think this guy's telling the truth. You know, it might be a little bit here and there, but I don't think he had anything to do with planning on killing. I mean, I don't know. It's kind of weird, though. I mean, what about those phone calls and things? I don't know. It seemed like and remember how he was supposedly hiding in the truck before she got there? I don't know. It just seems like she's the mastermind. Let's put it that way. He denied cleaning the floor and believes there will be flood on the floor of the truck. Bradley denied placing the phone on the 2-track, but again said he found the phone on the 2-track. He did agree that he had the 550 phone on his person on Monday, November 3rd, 2025. Sergeant Voss confronts Bradley that if Cortney told him to do this, we want him to tell us now. He denies that he stabbed Rebecca. Pisker asked Bradley, I mean, why didn't you come forward sooner, though, Bradley, and say, hey, my wife did it? I mean, isn't that enough to see your wife, or whatever you want to call her, kill her daughter and then kill a baby? And you're just going to go, well, if we get caught, you know, it's just ridiculous. Pisker asked Bradley about the card found with Rebecca. Rebecca. The card found with Rebecca. He said that he didn't know anything about it and couldn't recall what it was. I don't remember the card. But knew it was on social media. He did not see a card when he left the area. He also did not see another weapon or tool when he was at the scene or anything else. Bradley doesn't know if anyone has been to the scene where Rebecca's body was since she was killed, and he denied that he has been back to the scene. When Bradley was asked about Rebecca not having shoes on, he appeared surprised by that. Bradley gives a description of where Rebecca's body was in relation to the trail and where things occurred. He denied that Cortney had asked him to position the truck. Not having shoes on, he appeared surprised by that. Bradley doesn't know if anyone has been to the scene where Rebecca's body was since she was killed. Bradley gives a description of where Rebecca's body was in relation to the trail and where things occurred. He denied that Cortney had asked him to position the truck so the truck lights would assist. He said the lights shining around the side of the front of the truck was enough illumination for Cortney to cut the baby out. When he left, the body was still on the same hill. Let's see. Cortney covered Rebecca with leaves, but denied branches were placed on her. At the time, the baby was on a towel next to Cortney. Questioning the presence of a towel, Bradley is asked if he thinks Cortney planned this, and he said, I have a feeling she did, but never told him of a plan. Bradley did not see Cortney place a towel or the hunting knife in the truck. Using a Wexford County map, Bradley showed the route of travel he took and approximately where they were. He agreed he could take officers out and show them where things had taken place on Monday, November 3rd, 2025. While discussing if there was blood on any of the clothing he or Cortney had been wearing that night, he described that when they got home, Cortney changed into a nightgown. Previously, he had said they had gone out and disposed of the baby and the knife that night. Now, when asking about this, Bradley said that the baby stayed in the cooler that night on the back porch. Really? Just kind of, hey, we got a baby out there. Well, let's go to bed. Let's do something with that in the morning. Jesus. He now reported it was Wednesday, November 5th, 2025, when the items were placed in dumpsters, specifically because Thursday is garbage day. And of course, you're 2 bags short, right? Because Cortney counts those bags. Thank God there was another 11 of them for the garbage to be placed in. I need the water. This reading makes me thirsty. He said that it was Cortney who placed the cooler with the baby in it in the garage tote. They were in the escape when they discarded the knife and the baby. Bradley said one of the things that he believes Cortney said after she couldn't revive the baby was, "The bitch killed my baby." Bradley reported that he watched Cortney the knife was placed in the glove box. Bradley reported that he watched Cortney the knife was placed in the glove box. See how shitty that is? Cortney then came fast and was jumping and found box with knife. Wow. What? Yeah, what was that last part he just said? Man, this is crazy. Bradley reported he watched Cortney the knife, put the knife. No, but then it says was placed. Let's see. Bradley reported that he watched Cortney place the knife in the glove box. How about that? Is that good? Of the Ford Escape, and he believes that there will likely be blood located in the glove box. On Sunday, November 30th, 2025, Voss and I began a second recorded interview with Cortney. Oh man, they're just going back and forth. Oh boy, here we go. With Cortney Bartholomew. As she enters the interview room, Cortney reports she's ready to go home. Well, you're never going home again, Cortney. When it's pointed out that she is lying, it's all Bradley. When asked what she thinks Bradley has been saying, she reported that he is probably saying it's both of them. And we confirm her statement and say that we know they are both present. Cortney denies that she wanted the baby for herself. She admitted that Bradley... Okay, but that's too late because remember that one friend that she told that she was pregnant? Oh, and then her baby was born early and it was in the hospital. So that's why her story is not true and Bradley's is much closer to reality. Because remember that friend, right? Man, this is nuts. Cortney denies that she wanted the baby for herself. She admitted that Bradley brought the baby to the house and told her that the baby was not breathing. Cortney said she told him to call 911, but Bradley said they weren't doing that. Well, yeah, let's call 911. Where's the mother? Oh, well, she's over there. She's been stabbed many times, and we cut the baby out. But can you help? Why would that's the stupidest thing in the world? Nobody in the world is going to call 911 on a situation like that. There's no way she asked him to do that. But Bradley said they weren't doing that. She denied getting involved and said it was because she has Bentley and can't put herself in a position like that. Cortney reported that the day the drones were flying around, the baby was in the metal shed out in the back. They should have had a dog out there. Cortney said she knew that Bradley was going to try to pin this on her because he had told her, "Bitch, I'll take you down with me." Cortney told us that Bentley can prove that she was home on the 3rd. Cortney is confronted with her explanation that Rebecca willingly got into the truck with Bradley to go for a ride, that he then murdered her and cut the fetus out. When confronted with cellular telephone data, Cortney is confronted with explanation that Rebecca willingly got into the truck with Bradley to go for a ride, that he then murdered her and cut the fetus out. When confronted with cellular telephone data and location data records, Cortney announces that Bradley had taken her phone so she couldn't call the police. Cortney is confronted with her version of events being difficult to believe. Eventually, Cortney, I think prosecutors should probably cut a deal with Bradley and be the star witness, because I think absolutely Cortney is the one. She's the killer, and she had the reason. She wanted to have her own baby. She didn't get along with Rebecca. Rebecca, would trash her sometimes. So she's like, well, I'll take that baby. And I think that's how they should do this case. He should get some stuff like, abuse of a corpse or whatever the hell you want to call it. But I think she's and that's, what's even weirder is that she was on all those TikTok shows. I actually watched her on one of those. That's crazy. Jesus. When confronted with the cellular telephone data and location data records, Cortney announces that Bradley had taken her phone, so I wonder why they charged him. They must have, they can't, right now they're not certain either way, so I think they're way leaning towards Cortney, but they weren't certain, so they've charged both. Cortney is confronted with her version of events being difficult to believe. Right, there you go. Eventually, Cortney said she's going to tell us what happened. Brad took her. He brought the baby back. I tried. I didn't. Couldn't. I tried to save my grandson and began to cry. Let's note, it says, eventually Cortney said she's going to tell us what happened and began to cry. And then in the middle it said, with quotes, whoever wrote this thing, man, it's not good. Voss asked how Bradley took Rebecca. Cortney said he pulled her out of the car and she got into the truck. Cortney admits that she told Rebecca she was going to come with her. She places herself in the truck on the passenger side. Rebecca is in the middle and Bradley is driving. Bradley has the knife, according to her. Rebecca's in the middle. Huh? From the house, they drove to where Bradley ended up stabbing Rebecca. She claimed not to know Rebecca was going to die that night. Cortney placed Bradley across 21.5 road from their house as she... Cortney places Bradley across 21.5 road from their house as she is arriving with Rebecca. Cortney admits she knows something is going down because Bradley is on foot across the road waiting for them to arrive. But what was his motivation? She reported that Bradley approached the vehicle by just walking up on her side, grabbed Rebecca by the arm and got her out of the escape, and she willingly gets into the pickup to go for a ride after he told Rebecca, your mom is going with us. Got her out of the escape, and she willingly gets in the back, in the pickup, to go for a ride after he told Rebecca, your mom's going with us. From the house, they drive to where Rebecca gets stabbed. Cortney said that Bradley told Rebecca to get out of the truck. Yeah, I mean, it's sort of interesting. Why was Brad driving down this remote road with Cortney and... with Rebecca and Cortney? So that's kind of weird, too. But I think she's sort of... I mean, no matter how you look at it, I think Courtney's the mastermind. She reported that Bradley approached the vehicle by just walking up on her side, grabbed Rebecca by the arm, and got her out of the escape, and she willingly gets in the truck. From the house, they drive to where Rebecca gets stabbed. Courtney said that Bradley told Rebecca to get out of the truck while Courtney stayed inside. Rebecca is taken to the rear of the truck where Bradley stabbed her. At first, she said she assumed that he stabbed Rebecca because he came back with a knife all bloody. When Sergeant Voss asked Courtney at what point did... Oh, but why don't you ask why would he do that? Oh, revenge, that's right. Voss asked Courtney at what point did she cut the baby out of Rebecca. She answered, I didn't, he did. And he handed him to me. Courtney also said the baby wasn't breathing and she didn't hear him cry. Courtney claimed to have never gotten out of the truck because she didn't have her crutches or her wheelchair. Oh, yeah, that's right, that's right. She again claimed that this was a revenge plot, there you go, because she had a sexual relationship with Rich, and because Rich got Bradley put in jail, she claimed that Bradley wanted to hurt Rich. So killed, and you're okay. So killed his wife's daughter and baby. Okay. When confronted with the report that she stabbed Rebecca while driving down the road, Courtney denied it. When asked how all the blood got in the truck, she answered that it was from the knife, then suggested that Rebecca got back in the truck. Oh boy. Eventually, Courtney admitted that she cut the baby. Oh God. So later on, Courtney admits that she cut the baby out of Rebecca. See? Once now she's down that road, she's toast. Admitted she cut the baby out of Rebecca in an attempt to save him so she could take him to Rich. Right. Oh, God. Really? Yeah. I wanted to cut the baby out so I could run the baby over to Rich and say, here is your baby. I'm sorry, your wife's dead, though. Or your fiance. I mean, what a joke these people are. When she cut the baby out, Courtney said that Rebecca was still conscious. Wow. And Bradley was holding the knife to her throat. That's incredible, you guys. So that's true, then. If both of them are saying that, that's incredible. That means she was still alive when they did this. And what? That must have been like something out of the most horrific horror movie you've ever seen in your life. Eventually, Courtney admitted that she cut the baby out of Rebecca in an attempt to save him so she could take him to Rich. And then she's even saying that when she cut the baby out of Courtney, Rebecca was still conscious. I mean, wouldn't you be concerned about saving her? And Bradley was holding the knife to her throat. She told Rebecca to lay back. Your baby is gonna die. Courtney denied that Rebecca had been stabbed while in the truck. Revisiting the driveway, Sergeant Voss asked if Bradley held the knife to her throat. Voss asked if Bradley held the knife to her throat to get her into the truck, and Courtney nodded her head in an affirmation. While in the truck, Bradley put the knife down by his left side. During the ride, Sergeant Voss asked what it said to Rebecca. And Courtney said she told her everything is going to be okay. Courtney said she promised that Bradley wasn't going to hurt her. See, I'm sure you might have said something like that. When they get to the area where this happens, Bradley pulled Rebecca out of the truck and he spun her around and stabbed her in the back 4 or 5 times. Bradley brings Rebecca to her side of the truck and is sitting next to the door, and Bradley ordered Rebecca to lay back. Courtney said she told Rebecca that if she doesn't lay back, her baby is going to die. Courtney looked in the truck and saw the scalpel, so she hurried up and did it. But her grandson wasn't breathing. Bradley brings Rebecca to her side of the truck and is sitting next to the door, and Bradley ordered Rebecca to lay back. Cortney said she told Rebecca that if she doesn't lay back, her baby's going to die. Cortney looked in the truck and saw the scalpel, so she hurried up and did it. Anybody believe any of that shit? Yeah, this is one of those stories, I'm sure that one was similar, the one with the Hispanic lady, but they didn't have the details like this. Cortney said she started her incision along her belly, and Bradley told her to cut downward. It would be easier. Cortney reported that Rebecca is still talking at this, telling her to hurry up and asking if he is out. She said she told Rebecca he was about out and that Rebecca told her to save him. When she got the baby out, Cortney said she had dental floss from the dash. This is going to be up the umbilical, right? Floss from the dash that she had put in her pocket because she knew she would have to tie off the umbilical cord. There you go. Let's see. When she got the baby out, Cortney said she had dental floss from the dash. Okay. That she had put in her pocket. Okay, so when she went back to the car to get the scalpel, she got the dental floss. It doesn't say that, but I think that's kind of what she had put in her pocket because she knew she would have to tie off the umbilical cord. She reported tying off the umbilical cord the best that she could, you mean. Once the baby was out, she said that Bradley slit Rebecca's throat with the knife. Next, she said that Bradley... See, this part here sort of sounds like something. I don't know. Yeah, this is absolutely ridiculous. Next, she said that Bradley used a cord from the snow plow on the truck to hook her body to the truck, and he pulled Rebecca down the bank, maybe 20 feet, pulling her back and off the road. She said he then covered her with leaves. Cortney said the towel was in the truck already, but she didn't know how the scalpel got in the truck. Cortney talked about how she would have come to the sheriff's office if she had been able to drive the baby to Rich to report what happened. Discussing this, she claims that since this happened, she hasn't been able to get away from Bradley. When reminded on Monday she was in Mount Pleasant and he was in Grayling, she could have said something then. What kind of a dumb little comment at the end there. Cortney confirmed that after she was stabbed, Rebecca never got back in the truck. Yeah, she was asked how the blood got into the truck, and Cortney reported that it was from umbilical cord making blood fly all over. Well, a minute ago you said it was from the knife and from... I can't remember the other thing. Cortney said she never stabbed Rebecca. She was only responsible for trying to save her grandson. When asked if she thought she should have tried to save her daughter, Cortney said she couldn't. Why not? When asked how many... That's because she knew what the truth was. When asked how many times she talked to Bradley on the ride to her house from Rich's, she reported it was only once. She identified she had... I think it was like 3 or 4 times, though. She identified she had 429 phone and that the call they had lasted about 10 minutes. When Lieutenant Pisker confirmed Cortney with 2 incisions she admitted to having made to remove the baby, he asked her if she thinks Rebecca would have survived those wounds. She said no, probably not. Cortney admitted that about 1 to 2 months prior to having Prior to this having happened, Bradley researched the procedure for getting a baby out. Okay. I think she's a mastermind. She had him look it up, and she knows that. How would she know that he researched that? That's because you had him look it up. Cortney said that Bradley put the item in the dumpster, but she was present in the Ford Escape for both. Cortney is asked whose idea it was to leave items at the crime scene, and she said it was Brad's. She then identified that the items were Kimberly's debit card and razor knife. Cortney reported these items were placed after Kimberly went to social media saying that Cortney and Bradley were responsible. Wow, so Rebecca's sister Kimberly went to social media and said Cortney and Bradley were responsible. So Cortney, being the good mom she is, went out and planted stuff at the crime scene to implicate Kimberly. This is the most dysfunctional pile of shit human beings I've ever seen. This is incredible. You gotta be kidding me. And she was telling the truth. So isn't that crazy? Look at Cortney's asked whose idea it was to leave the items at the crime scene. And she said it was Brad's. She then identified that the items were Kimberly's credit card and razor knife. Cortney reported these items were placed there after Kimberly went to social media saying, rightfully so, that Cortney and Bradley were responsible for the purpose of framing Kimberly. Right. God, this person, whoever wrote this thing, is just ridiculous. Was responsible, period. Or, because look at, we're responsible for the purpose of framing Kimberly. That's not the way it's supposed to be. Saying that Cortney and Bradley were responsible, period. She did this for the purpose of framing Kimberly. Like that, right? Anyways, when pressed on the debit card, Cortney said it belonged to James Mercer, not Kimberly. And the card came from Kimberly's backpack. She said he used one of the plastic bags from her backpack. And I know she only had one left because I counted before. Never mind. One of the plastic bags from her backpack to keep from getting his fingers on it. These items were suspected to have been placed by Bradley the day before Rebecca's body was recovered. She said he left the escape that day for about 20 minutes. Lieutenant Pisker asked Cortney to provide some information that isn't already known that can verify her statements, and she's reported Brad said it was his in reference to Rebecca's baby. Brad said it was his. God, see, this is my theory coming to fruition here? Because it's matched that other comment earlier. Cortney, Pisker asked Cortney to provide some information that isn't already known that can verify her statements, and she reported Brad said it was his in reference to Rebecca's baby. Yeah, God, that's my original theory. You remember that? Now, when it is questioned that they don't like each other, Cortney said, yes, they do. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. That's crazy. So maybe it's like a combination. Well, because that's weird in this case. So maybe it's like the mother wants to kill Rebecca and raise the child because he's her husband and hates his daughter. And then that's exactly the theory that I threw out there a long time ago. Let's just see if that ever comes out to be true. They'd have to find part of the baby somewhere and be able to do a blood test. That's crazy, though, huh? Revisiting the conversation she had with Bradley a month prior about a C-section, she reported that he looked it up on his phone. When asked why they were having that discussion, Cortney answered because that's what he said he was going to happen. Like, he didn't want to kill his own baby. So that's why they're confused now. Because, yeah, that's a total... If it is his baby, he wouldn't want to kill his baby, but then, you know, the wife... I mean, yeah, that's just a cluster F, you know? I mean, this whole thing is ridiculous. Because that is what he said he was going to happen. He said he told her he was going to cut the baby out of Rebecca right in front of Rich. Cortney said she brushed it off. Pisker commented on Cortney's story about having delivered a premature baby. See, what about that part? Yeah, so the whole Cortney about the premature baby thing. See, that's her wanting to have a baby. And then, is it possible? Well, how about this? Is it possible that Bradley had a baby intentionally with Rebecca, knowing, because his wife wanted to have a baby, and for some reason they can't, you know, like she's older or something, whatever the reason is. And that was what the whole plan was the whole time. They were just going to use Rebecca as like an incubator so she can have a baby. Wouldn't that be interesting if that's what it was? I mean, not interesting like in a cool way, but like just sort of a crazy twist, I guess. As she's being confronted with the obvious that there was a plan for this to happen, Cortney said that Bradley had told her to pull straight in, but she didn't. She turned the corner in her driveway instead. Hey, thanks, Mills Light. Questioning why he told her to pull in straight, Cortney reveals that Bradley had told her if he was, going to do anything, it would be right there. When he does grab Rebecca, Cortney tries to get him to stop, but he said that he had the knife to Rebecca's throat and he ordered everyone to get in the white truck. While in the truck, Rebecca slid over to Cortney asking what was going on, and she said she reassured her that Bradley just wanted to talk. Cortney described that Rebecca was calm after just having a knife held to her throat to get her in the truck. But there you go. That was it. Holy shit, man. I'm glad we did it that way. Took 3 hours and 42 minutes, but it's pretty, you know, feel like I understand it better now. Don't you guys? It's a little easier when you slow down and kind of like read something again, or man, I don't know. Yeah, that was like my main theory is like, why would either of the two older people, you know, Cortney or Brad, want to have anything to do with it? And it's because it's her baby. You know, it's his baby. That's why Brad would be willing to help, and then she wanted her own baby. And then you start to wonder, well, shit then. Is it possible that this baby was intentionally, you know, with Brad and Rebecca at some point, you know, hooking up to make sure, you know, I don't know. I guess we might not ever get to know. Did they ever find the baby or anything to do any genetic tests on? All right, you guys. Well, thank you all for being here tonight, and thank you to those for hitting that like button, those who supported the channel. I've only got 170 likes. What a joke. But anyways, thanks for Jennaru became a new member early on. Then we had Wild Bill Wassman. Chris O'Connell gifted 5. Then we had Bruce Holdaway gifted 1. And then Chris O'Connell gifted 1. And then Chris O'Connell gifted another one. And then Tamsters. Then Chris O'Connell gifted another one. And then I gifted 5. Seems like there's a lot of stuff missing. Oh yeah, that screwed up. Let's see. Then we had Wild Bill Wassman, Michelle H gifted 1, Ozzy Trisha, Christopher Marshburn gifted 1, and then Ozzy Trisha gifted 5. Then Bruce Holdaway gifted 5. Then Cheryl Bullock, then Kim, and then Bruce Holdaway again, and then Wild Bill Wassman. Then Chris O'Connell gifted 10. Then Bella G, then Kira Ryder, then Tamsters did 5 memberships, then Chris O'Connell did a super chat, then Wild Bill Wassman, Bruce Holdaway, then Chris O'Connell with a cat eye donation, then Jenna Rue, new member, then we have the Wild Bill Wassman, Chris O'Connell gifted 5, then Bruce Holdaway gifted 1, Chris O'Connell did 2 in a row, then Tamsters gifted 1, Chris O'Connell, then I gifted 5, then Forgetful Mandy, then Richard Watts, Jessica Schubach, Wild Bill Wassman, Lisa Valenzuela, C. Daly, Cuddle, Monster Mom, Chris O'Connell, Jason McCowan, gifted 1. I said that the same way as Carbonara, Michelle H., then Timberly, Chris O'Connell, and Mills Light. And not one coffee again. All right. Anyways, you guys, thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. You know, we had a little bit of drama earlier with some nut jobs in here, but, you know. That's a pretty grim... There's an X-Files episode that seems similar to me. Remember that one X-Files where he's like... That could have been a horror movie all by itself. It was just... it was in Appalachia, you know. And there's this house, and the mother is like this mutant living under the bed, and her own kids would impregnate her and have babies, and these babies were just totally like malformed and just the weirdest shit you've ever seen. And then that lady, do you remember that episode? Oh god, that was crazy. Yeah, it was cool having so many different people supporting the channel tonight. Thanks again, Chris O'Connell. You're always, I mean, you make a big difference on the, you know, trying to get to the actual goal part of it, you know. I did like Dexter, yeah. I don't know. I don't think I have that video open. It's too hard to find. I'll do it tomorrow or something. I did like the show Dexter. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for being here. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Let's see. Let me see if I can do it. Let's see. I can't believe... Second. My nose is plugged up. I can't believe you have Gray on your show, Vinny. I'm never watching again. Ooh. There you go. Boom. I can't believe you have Gray on your show, Vinny. Yeah. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you tomorrow. And as I always say... Until next time, be safe out there.
Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gray is gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freak connector, and
deflector, interceptor. Got a needle and a spectre with a vector
on his pector with all respect, y'all. Just remember I'm a temple fucking checker. I have no agenda, I'm no pretender, and I'll serve it to you straight without the blender. And in the end, I'm gonna send ya on a mission to reveal the true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody? Talk to you later.
Thank you very much for watching.
Would you shut the hell up? Let me do it. Thank you very much for watching Gray Hughes Investigates, where we put the facts together to figure out exactly what happens in cases. And yes, don't forget to count your bags tonight, because who knows if somebody will accuse you of murder.
Bye. See you around.
Thank you. Thank you very much. No, thank you. Oh, thank you. Oh, come on. I mean, come on. That's, thank you. Thank you. Oh, come on. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, don't stop yet. I mean, hello. Hello. Hey. Oh, forget it. All right. Good night, everybody. Hey, we got a few laughs in, even though it's a grim topic.